Chapter 1241. Lin Xian skipped over the top spiritual level techniques and half-earth level techniques and locked his eyes on the earth level techniques. In the end, he chose two techniques: Void Shattering Finger and 9 Changes in the Firmament. Void Shattering Finger was a type of finger technique with terrifying power. When practiced to great success, it could penetrate all defenses, even the sky. 9 Changes in the Firmament was a powerful ability. When practiced to great success, it could evolve 9 ancient beasts to fight against enemies. It could be said to be ever-changing and extremely useful. Lin Xian was very satisfied with these two techniques, so without any hesitation, he spent a large amount of natural treasures to exchange for them. The elder of the True Spirit Palace waved his hand, and immediately, 2 jade slips turned into rainbows in the void above and arrived in front of Lin Xian in an instant. Lin Xian did not hesitate either. With a wave of his hand, he directly put the 2 jade slips into his storage ring. Then he left the True Spirit Palace. In the following days, Lin Xian began to practice Void Shattering Finger and 9 Changes in the Firmament. These two techniques were both earth-level techniques with great power, but they were also extremely difficult to practice. Fortunately, Lin Xian had experience in practicing earth-level techniques, so it was twice the result with half the effort. Among them, Void Shattering Finger required a special mental cultivation method to store spiritual power and use it at a critical moment. This spiritual power would be transformed into Void Shattering Qi and stored in Lin Xian's fingers. When it was time to use it, it would be used instantly. In theory, all 10 fingers could store Void Shattering Qi. However, this could only be achieved by the perfection stage. Lin Xian could only store it in 1 finger now. As for 9 changes in the firmament, it was 9 different seals. Each seal corresponded to an ancient beast. The 9 seals corresponded to 9 ancient beasts. Once they were used, their power could be said to be unparalleled. These 9 seals were Qiongqi, Tianpeng, Dijiang, 9-headed snakelet, Juyen, White Tiger, Hanwu, Huofeng, and Songlong. Each of them was extremely terrifying. During this period, Lin Xian had been in seclusion to practice these two techniques and had made some progress. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. The heavenly netherbird had indeed caused some trouble in the martial sky continent. In the end, it had angered a king, resulting in a huge battle. However, the heavenly netherbird's condition wasn't good. It was often suppressed by the astral chains. Therefore, he did not gain any advantage in this battle. Very quickly, the news of the heavenly netherbird's defeat spread throughout the Tianwu continent. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief when they heard the news. On the other hand, Lin Xian frowned. He knew that this wasn't the heavenly netherbird's true strength. It was only because of the star chain that it was defeated. However, this was good news for him. At the very least, he wouldn't be attacked by the heaven netherbird for a while. For a time, the various major forces also removed their defenses. And today, on one of the battlegrounds of the Immortal Martial Academy, an extremely intense battle was about to take place. The two sides of the battle were Dugu Outyin and Li Yunfei, whom everyone was extremely familiar with. At that moment, Li Yunfei's aura was extremely powerful. He had also broken through to the 7th heavenly layer of the Exalted Realm. I didn't expect you to break through to the 7th heavenly layer so quickly. However, you're still not my match, said Dugu Outyin. Whether I'm your match or not, we'll only know after we fight. Li Yunfei was confident and calm. In the next moment, he waved his palm and quickly attacked Dugu Outyin. Palm shadows appeared one after another, descending from the sky and slamming down, instantly enveloping Dugu Outyin. A terrifying power flowed as if it wanted to suppress Dugu Outyin. Dugu Outyin also let out a long roar and quickly raised his sword to meet the attack. An extremely dazzling light burst out from the long sword. A sword chi was like a rainbow as it quickly slashed towards the huge palm of light. The two of them exchanged blows. The momentum was extremely terrifying. After 50 moves, Li Yunfei was defeated. I lost. Li Yunfei retracted his hand. He wasn't very disappointed. Your improvement exceeded my expectations. If I hadn't entered the 7th heavenly layer in advance, the outcome of this battle would have been unknown. Dugu Outyin said as he sheathed his sword. No matter what, you're still the first on the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard. First? Dugu Outyen shook his head slightly. Not necessarily. We'll only know after we fight. You mean Lin Xian? Li Yunfei's expression turned serious. Indeed. He has entered the core area of the secret territory. I think his improvement this time will be even greater. I just don't know who's better this time. Great. I also want to fight with him. Why don't we go together? Sure. Then, the two of them rose from the ground and flew towards the courtyard where Lin Xian was. At the same time, in the punishment hall of the Immortal Martial Academy, Meng Tian took a deep breath and strode out of the hall. At this moment, a voice sounded. Junior Meng, where are you going? A handsome young man asked. Senior Zhua, you're back. Meng Tian smiled. How was it? Did the mission go smoothly? It was all right. Although there were some hiccups along the way, it was completed successfully. The handsome young man, Zhua Donglai, smiled and asked again, Where are you going? Why do you look so serious? I'm going to fight with someone. Meng Tian said. But who is it? Why are you taking it so seriously? Could it be the boss? How could it be the boss? Since I lost to him in one punch, I don't dare to challenge him again. Meng Tian smiled bitterly and said, It's a junior brother. Oh, junior brother, could it be Dugu Outyen? Why? Has he improved so much in the remote sky secret territory that he can fight with you? Zhua Donglai was puzzled. It's someone called Lin Xian. Lin Xian? I've heard of him. He's quite famous recently. However, he doesn't seem to have the strength to fight with you. After all, there's a big age gap between the two of you. Zhua Donglai was surprised. However, Meng Tian shook his head. Senior Zhua, you haven't seen him before. You don't know that he's very mysterious. When he was in the remote sky secret territory, he was able to fight against the 11th young master of the Shen family with his 6th sky venerable cultivation. Now that he had advanced to the 7th sky venerable realm, he should be even stronger. Oh, you're saying that Lin Xian can also fight against peerless geniuses? This was quite interesting. Zhua Donglai was also interested. I didn't expect our academy to have such a magical disciple. I must take a look. All right, let's go together. Meng Tian nodded and then set off with Zhua Donglai. In the courtyard, many people had gathered. Wang Li and the other disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were very excited. Brother Xian, thanks to the heavenly treasures you gave us, our cultivation has improved greatly in the past 2 months. He was very excited because this time he had directly advanced to the 6th sky venerable realm. It could be said that he had improved at a godly speed. In addition, Dongfang Xiong had also advanced to the 6th sky venerable realm. The other's strength had also increased greatly. Many of them had reached the 5th sky venerable realm. Although they could not be compared to Dugu Outyen, Li Yunfei, and the others, increasing their cultivation by 1 or 2 levels in just 2 months would shock everyone. Chapter 1242. The group of people looked at Lin Xian gratefully. Without the treasures that Lin Xian had given them, they would not have been able to improve their cultivation so much in such a short time. Brother Xian, we will never forget your kindness. As long as there's anything you need us to do, just say the word. We'll do anything. The group of people swore their loyalty. Lin Xian waved his hand. Don't be like this. We're all brothers. Of course, we'll share our blessings. As long as you don't betray me or the Dragon Sword Pavilion, we'll be brothers for life. As Lin Xian was speaking, 2 air-piercing sounds came from afar. Soon, 2 figures landed on the ground like lightning. It's them. When Wang Li and the others saw that it was Dugu Outyen and Li Yunfei, they immediately became nervous. After all, they were the top geniuses in the academy. Why are you 2 here? Lin Xian was also very surprised. Nothing, we just wanted to spar with you. Dugu Outyen did not beat around the bush and directly stated the purpose of his visit. Immediately, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked ahead. He realized that the other party's cultivation had become stronger. On the other side, Li Yunfei's cultivation had also reached the 7th level of the Honorable Realm. It seemed that their cultivation had increased again. No wonder they wanted to spar with him. Alright, it's time to change the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard. Lin Xian stood up. He was still ranked third on the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard, but his strength had already surpassed Dugu Outyin and the others. Now, he could use this opportunity to advance to first place. Junior brother Meng, it seems that you're late. Someone made a move before you. At that moment, another voice was heard. Two more figures descended from the sky. They were two young men. One of them was Meng Tian, and the other was a handsome young man who was standing with a smile. Greetings, senior brother Meng Tian, the group shouted. Meng Tian nodded, then pointed at the young man beside him and said, "This is Zhuo Donglai, senior brother Zhuo." Greetings, senior brother Zhuo. The crowd shouted, then they were shocked. Could this be the genius who was ranked second on the previous Mystic Sovereign leaderboard? They were shocked. They didn't expect that not only had Meng Tian come, but he had also brought someone even more powerful. Zhuo Donglai had been ranked second on the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard. He had stayed in the punishment hall after graduation. Furthermore, he was even more powerful. He had reached the 8th heavenly layer of Exalted a long time ago. It could be said that he was even more powerful than them. No one expected that such a powerful person would actually come here. Senior brothers, why are you here? Lin Xian asked. It's nothing. I just want to spar with you. Senior brother Zhuo is just here to watch the show. Meng Tian explained his intentions. What? Sparring with older brother Xian again? Everyone was stunned. If Dugu Outyin and Li Yunfei were here to spar, it would be normal. After all, everyone's strength was about the same. They would have to compete to see who was first on the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard. However, Meng Tian and Zhuo Donglai were different. After all, the two of them had graduated and were no longer disciples of the college. They would not compete with Lin Xian for the sake of ranking on the Mystic Honorable Board. Furthermore, the two of them were both 8th heavenly layer exalted. They could be said to be incomparably powerful. Even the older generation would admit that they were not as powerful as them. Although Lin Xian and Dugu Outyin were peerless geniuses, they were still young and were only 7th heavenly layer exalted. They were no match for them at all. Of course, Wang Li and the rest did not know Lin Xian's current strength. They also did not know about Lin Xian's performance in Pine Palace. That was why they were so confused. Although Meng Tian and the rest had entered the remote sky secret realm, they were basically in another area and were not with Lin Xian. Therefore, they were not very clear about Lin Xian's combat strength. Therefore, these people did not know about Lin Xian's true strength. Furthermore, they did not think that Lin Xian had the combat strength of an 8th heavenly layer exalted. After all, the further one progressed, the harder it was to fight someone of a higher level. However, Lin Xian smiled faintly and said, "If that's the case, please wait for a moment, senior brother Meng. Let's spar after Dugu and I are done." All right. Meng Tian nodded and retreated to the side. Zhuo Donglai was also very interested. In his opinion, Dugu Outyin and Lin Xian's strength were about the same. It should be a fierce battle between the two of them. This way, he could observe more clearly what was so special about Lin Xian. Seeing this, Li Yunfei and the other disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion also retreated to the side to give them enough space. Everyone held their breaths and waited patiently. The disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were also excited. After all, both of them were top geniuses. This kind of battle was not common. Since that's the case, I won't hold back. Dugu Outyin drew his sword and quickly circulated his spiritual energy. Suddenly, the long sword shone brightly. Dugu 9 swords. The moment he attacked, it was an extremely fierce killing move. 9 rays of sword chi shot out like rainbows. The long sword slashed across the void. At the side, Zhuo Donglai smiled and said, "Dugu Outyin is very cautious. He used his ultimate skill right from the start. But let's see what Lin Xian is going to do." Meng Tian nodded slightly. Dugu Outyin's sword was not bad. It already had an invincible aura. Not many 7th level honorables could take it. Wang Li and the others were also shocked. They had heard of the Dugu 9 swords. It was Dugu Outyin's famous ultimate skill. He was a very powerful killer. They did not expect him to use it right from the start. At that moment, They could not help but worry about Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian looked calm. There was not a trace of nervousness. His palm moved and quickly formed a strange seal. Then he slowly pressed it forward. Buzz. Strong winds blew and the void trembled. Endless spiritual energy formed a huge body and roared in all directions. It was a ferocious beast. It looked like a cow, but its body was full of spikes. Its whole body emitted a powerful aura. As soon as the ferocious beast appeared, it created a terrifying aura and rushed toward the 9 rays of sword chi. This is? Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Even Meng Tian and Zhuo Donglai were surprised. If I'm not wrong, this should be the 9 changes of the firmament from the true spirit palace. This should be the Qiong Qi transformation, Meng Tian said. I didn't expect him to exchange for the 9 changes of the firmament. Not only did he exchange it, but he also cultivated it. Look at how powerful the Qiong Qi's shadow is. I'm afraid a 7th level honorable will not be able to resist it. Zhuo Donglai was also very surprised. He did not expect Lin Xian to have mastered the 9 changes of the firmament. What a magical kid. Looks like Dugu Outyin is going to be unlucky. As expected, the huge Qiong Qi in the sky flew past and immediately blasted the 9 rays of sword Qi away. Then, it quickly rushed toward Dugu Outyin. Dugu Outyin's pupils shrank. He did not expect Lin Xian to have such a strange technique. It could actually break his Dugu 9 swords in an instant. This surprised him. However, he was after all a top genius. Although he missed, he would not be defeated. Chapter 1243. Telepathic Sword Technique. After witnessing Lin Xian's strength, Dugu Outyin did not hesitate and executed a powerful sword technique. This was also an earth-grade sword technique that he had exchanged from the true spirit palace. It was called the telepathic sword technique. The power of this sword technique was boundless. Although he had just obtained it and had yet to reach the small success stage, the power of an earth-grade sword technique was not to be underestimated. As expected, the moment the telepathic sword technique was executed, sword light filled the sky and quickly blocked Qiong Qi. Seeing this scene, Dugu Outyin secretly heaved a sigh of relief. On the other hand, Lin Xian exclaimed softly. He did not expect Dugu Outyin to have an earth-grade sword technique. However, he did not care. In the next moment, his hand's seals slowly changed and he shouted in a low voice. Qiong Qi transformation, sky-shaking roar. Following his hand's seals, the huge phantom of Qiong Qi in the void above also moved quickly. Although it was an illusion, the 9 celestial transformations was incomparably mysterious. The Qiong Qi that was executed at this moment was like a real peerless beast. It roared towards the sky as if it was executing a supreme skill. As expected, in the next moment, the spiritual energy in the sky shook and a materialized sound wave quickly surged forward. This sound wave was blue like the sea. It was incomparably terrifying and contained a terrifying power. If one was hit by this sound wave, even an 8th level venerable would not be able to withstand it. This sound wave was too terrifying, so even if Dugu Outyin had the telepathic sword technique, he could not resist it. The sword light that filled the sky disappeared and Dugu Outyin kept retreating. Fortunately, this was just an ordinary spar and Lin Xian did not kill him, so Dugu Outyin was not injured. However, the blood in his body was also surging and he could not mobilize his spiritual energy for a short period of time. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Their mouths were wide open in disbelief. 2 moves, just 2 moves and Dugu Outyin was defeated. That was Dugu Outyin. He was the top genius among the disciples of the Immortal Martial Academy, but he was defeated just like that. For a moment, everyone looked at Lin Xian in shock. Impossible, how is this possible? This brat's strength has increased to such a level. At the side, Li Yunfei was panicking. Before he came, he was still guessing whether Lin Xian or Dugu Outyin would win. Because in his opinion, the battle between the 2 of them would definitely be a battle between a dragon and a tiger, and it would be difficult to determine the victor. However, he did not expect that the situation would be one-sided. In 2 moves, Dugu Outyin was defeated. He found it hard to believe for a moment. The surrounding disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were even more excited. They clenched their fists and their faces were filled with ecstasy. Older brother Xian defeated Dugu Outyin in 2 moves? It can't be, this is too shocking, isn't it? Is older brother Xian already so powerful? Older brother Xian is mighty and domineering. The group was excited. In the distance, Meng Tian and Zhuo Donglai were also shocked. They had not expected such a thing to happen. His improvement was indeed godly. Meng Tian's voice was grave. Zhuo Donglai was shocked. No wonder you thought so highly of this little boy. He was so mysterious and his fighting abilities were so strong. His battle prowess was probably close to that of the 8th heavenly layer Venerable Realm. The two of them quickly conversed, and their understanding of Lin Xian increased once again. On the stage, Dugu Haoyan was struggling to stabilize the blood in his body. Until now, his mind was still blank. This was because he could not accept the current situation. 2 moves, only 2 moves. He was still full of confidence and thought that he would be able to defeat Lin Xian. However, he did not expect that Lin Xian would defeat him in 2 moves. Thinking of this, his body started to tremble. In the end, he sighed and said with a desolate expression, "I lost. Thank you for letting me win." Lin Xian said indifferently, but his heart was filled with ecstasy. The 9 changes of the firmament was indeed powerful. He had only used the first change, the Qiong Qi transformation, and defeated Dugu Outyin in 2 moves. This was really out of his expectations. At the same time, in the Immortal Martial Academy, the rankings on the black stone tablet changed again. Lin Xian, who was originally ranked 3rd, suddenly shone brightly like the sun. He rose quickly and finally jumped to the 1st position. His name also turned purplish gold. Dugu Outyin, who was originally ranked 1st, dropped to 2nd place. After him, Li Yunfei and the others dropped 1 place. Big news, shocking news. Look, there are changes on the Mystic Sovereign ranking. Countless disciples went crazy. Isn't it normal for there to be changes? After all, many experts have improved a lot in the remote sky secret realm. No, it's Lin Xian and Dugu Outyin. Lin Xian's name has jumped to 1st place. What? You mean Dugu Outyin lost? Everyone was shocked. Although they did not see the battle between Lin Xian and Dugu Outyin with their own eyes, the change in the names had already explained the result. That was Dugu Outyin. He had always been the top genius in the academy and was an existence that countless people looked up to. However, he had been defeated. Moreover, he was not defeated by his strong opponent, Li Yunfei, but by a new student who had just entered the academy for a year. He had successfully reached 1st place on the Mystic Sovereign ranking after just 1 year of entering the academy. This result had never happened before. It could be said that Lin Xian had created a miracle. It can't be. Didn't Dugu Outyin's strength increase greatly after entering the remote sky secret realm? Yeah, I remember that he has already reached the 7th heaven honorable realm. Could it be that he can't defeat Lin Xian with such strength? Oh my god, Lin Xian is too scary. How old is he? He's only 20 years old, but he's already a 7th heaven honorable realm. Moreover, his combat strength is so strong. I'm afraid his future is limitless. On this day, the entire Immortal Martial Academy went crazy. However, they did not know that something even crazier was about to happen in Lin Xian's courtyard. Dugu Outyin had already recovered from his initial shock. He looked disappointed and retreated to the side. That was because there was still one more battle. Senior brother Meng, please. Meng Tian nodded. Then, his figure flashed and he entered the arena. In the next moment, the aura in his body exploded. Junior brother Lin, let me see how much you've grown. Meng Tian's voice was steady. Then, the aura of an 8th heaven honorable realm exploded. When they felt the aura, everyone's body stiffened. The aura was too terrifying. Even Dugu Outyin and Li Yunfei could not withstand it. There were only 2 people who were not affected. They were Zhuo Donglai and Lin Xian. Zhuo Donglai was an 8th heaven honorable realm. His strength was above Meng Tian's. Therefore, he was not affected at all. However, the other person caused everyone to be extremely shocked. That was Lin Xian. Although he was only a 7th Heaven Honorable Realm cultivator, he was not afraid of the aura of an 8th Heaven Honorable Realm cultivator. This kid is indeed strange. He can actually ignore the aura of an 8th Heaven Honorable Realm cultivator. Zhuo Donglai squinted his eyes. Meng Tian let out a low roar and quickly attacked. 8 Extreme Divine Fist. Meng Tian's hair fluttered in the wind. He looked like a divine demon as his battle-intent sword. Chapter 1244. 8 Divine Fist. Meng Tian's hair fluttered in the wind. He looked like a divine demon as his battle-intent sword. As soon as he attacked, he displayed a powerful fist technique. Suddenly, the entire space shook as if it would collapse at any time. Looking at the terrifying scene, Lin Xian quickly formed a seal with his palms. Then, Qiong Qi's figure appeared in the sky again. The huge figure was as majestic as a mountain. Its aura was majestic and terrifying. Qiong Qi walked forward step by step. Every step it took caused the space to tremble. It quickly charged toward the fist shadows that filled the sky. The two of them exchanged blows. The momentum was extremely terrifying. Moreover, what was even more shocking was that the terrifying fluctuation was only limited to Lin Xian's courtyard. Outside the courtyard, it was abnormally quiet. As expected of a peerless expert. His technique was indeed heaven-defying. In the next moment, Lin Xian's palms changed. Qiong Qi in the sky also let out a deafening roar. Qiong Qi transformation, sky-shaking roar. The blue sound wave was like a vast ocean that surged out. It was this move that had defeated Dugu Aotian. Now, Lin Xian was using the same move against Meng Tian. At that moment, everyone was extremely nervous. In the face of the terrifying sky-shaking roar, Meng Tian let out a long roar. The fist technique in his hand shone even brighter. When he threw out a punch, the wind blew in all directions. The powerful fist force carried terrifying energy as it resisted the blue sound wave. After all, he was a level 8 expert. He could be said to be extremely powerful. Therefore, he resisted the sound wave that Qiong Qi released. Not only that, Meng Tian continued to throw punches and finally shattered all the sound waves. Then he charged toward Lin Xian in an extremely violent manner. Everyone was shocked. As expected of a level 8 Honorable Realm expert. He was indeed terrifying. However, Lin Xian looked calm. He put away the 9 changes of the firmament seal. Then he bent his finger and flicked it forward. Void-shattering finger. A ray of finger light shot out like a dragon. The ray of light was too fast. It was like a bolt of lightning. In an instant, it disappeared in the sky. The crowd could not see its trajectory at all. They could only see the endless space shattering rapidly. What? Seeing this, Zhuo Donglai stopped smiling. His expression became extremely solemn. The surrounding disciples were even more shocked. They didn't expect Lin Xian to have such a terrifying technique. The finger beam was like a dragon as it moved swiftly. In an instant, it collided with the countless fist shadows and pierced through them. Not only that, but it also quickly ran toward Meng Tian. Seeing his fist technique being penetrated, Meng Tian's pupils shrank as a great sense of crisis rose in his heart. It was as if a single ray of light could take his life. Not good, retreat. Meng Tian's expression changed drastically. Without hesitation, he retreated in an attempt to evade the attack. However, this finger light was too strange. It followed him like a shadow and caught up to him in an instant. With a cold snort, Meng Tian's spiritual energy surged and quickly condensed into an armor. After doing all this, he heaved a sigh of relief. This was because he was wearing a half-Earth rank armor, and this light was emitted by that armor. The power of a half-Earth rank artifact was boundless. Moreover, his spiritual energy was abundant, so he should be able to withstand this finger light. At the next moment, a shocking vibration was heard. Following that, Meng Tian kept retreating, and his face became extremely pale. The shadow of the armor in front of him was penetrated, and the finger light hit him directly. Fortunately, he was still wearing the half-Earth rank armor, so it was not immediately penetrated. Even so, the enormous power still forced him to retreat. Moreover, he sensed in horror that the half-Earth rank armor on his body seemed to be unable to withstand it. Meng Tian gritted his teeth and quickly activated the armor to resist it. Fortunately, the armor on his body resisted the finger light in the end. After doing all this, he was completely drenched. Although he had only exchanged 2 moves, it was as if he had gone through a very difficult battle. Is this his power? Meng Tian's heart pounded wildly. He realized that he had no hope of winning against Lin Xian. In particular, the last move almost took his life. The surrounding disciples were even more shocked, and their minds went blank. 2 moves again. Meng Tian lost. This was too shocking. One had to know that Meng Tian was not Dugu Outyen, but a powerhouse from the previous generation. Now, he was a peerless powerhouse in the 8th heaven of the Venerable Realm. Even so, he was still defeated by Lin Xian. Thinking of this, everyone's hearts trembled. Dugu Outyen and Li Yunfei's faces were even paler. They realized that Lin Xian's strength was far more powerful than they had imagined. It was laughable that the 2 of them wanted to compete with Lin Xian. Damn it, what kind of technique was that finger light? It's so terrifying. Li Yunfei's body was still trembling. Dugu Outyen also smiled bitterly and shook his head. He realized that he could not understand Lin Xian at all. Void-shattering finger, you've even learned the void-shattering finger. On the side, Zhuo Donglai was shocked. He was too shocked. Originally, he was just curious about Lin Xian and wanted to see what was so special about this mysterious young man. But now, he was completely stunned. Meng Tian was too powerful. He was not weaker than an 8th heaven venerable. Moreover, he had mastered 2 Earth rank martial arts. Moreover, they were 2 extremely powerful Earth rank martial arts. The 9 changes of the firmament and the void-shattering finger were 2 famous martial arts techniques in the true Spirit Palace. They were extremely powerful, but they were very difficult to learn. Looking at Lin Xian's appearance, it seemed that he had only exchanged for them after the Hidden Sky's secret realm. It had only been 2 months, but he had already cultivated 2 Earth rank martial arts to such an extent. It was too shocking. This guy's talent is too strong. Zhuo Donglai was shocked. No one could cultivate 2 Earth rank martial arts in just 2 months and have some success in both. Junior brother Meng, it seems like you didn't lose this battle unjustly. Hearing Zhuo Donglai's words, Meng Tian felt much better. He knew that Zhuo Donglai was stronger than him and had a unique vision. Since Zhuo Donglai had said so, it seemed like Lin Xian's strength was beyond his imagination. He could not judge him by his cultivation level. Lin Xian was also very happy. He had wanted to test out the power of the void-shattering finger, but he did not expect it to be so effective. He had defeated Meng Tian with 1 move. This was only the result of 2 months of cultivation. If he continued to cultivate, the power of the void-shattering finger would be even stronger in the future. When he used the void-shattering finger, he might be able to kill an 8th heaven venerable. Thinking of this, Lin Xian was very excited. This was really a powerful weapon. However, the only regret he had was that he could only use the void-shattering finger once. After that, he would have to accumulate more power. That was the void-shattering finger. You didn't lose unjustly. Zhuo Donglai looked at Meng Tian and said in a low voice, the void-shattering finger is very powerful. It is said that when it is cultivated to perfection, it can destroy everything. Luckily, this guy has only cultivated it for 2 months. Otherwise, you would have been seriously injured today. Hearing Zhuo Donglai's words, Meng Tian was scared. Chapter 1245. Zhuo Donglai shook his head. Based on his current strength, there shouldn't be a problem. But I don't think he's that weak. So, if we really fight, I don't have the confidence to win. If you want to have complete confidence, I'm afraid only boss can do it. What? He's so strong. Meng Tian was shocked. He didn't expect that even Zhuo Donglai didn't have complete confidence. After that, everyone left with complicated emotions. Zhuo Donglai and Meng Tian invited Lin Xian to join the punishment hall after graduation. Dugu Outyen and Li Yunfei looked at Lin Xian with respect. The other disciples of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were extremely excited because Lin Xian was their boss. The stronger Lin Xian was, the stronger they would be. Soon, the news of Lin Xian and Meng Tian's battle spread throughout the immortal martial academy. Suddenly, the entire academy was in an uproar. It was extremely lively. No one expected Lin Xian to be so strong. Even the elders were surprised. Hearing this, Dean Xian's eyes flickered. Then, he said in a low voice, "It seems like it's time to let him know the truth." After Meng Tian and Duge Outyin left, Lin Xian's courtyard returned to its peaceful state. However, a few days later, a strange cry broke the silence. The voice was arrogant, like a peerless demon. However, Lin Xian smiled when he heard it, because he knew that it was the voice of the dark red dragon. It should be awake now. Previously, the dark red dragon had refined the blood essence of the heavenly netherbird. It had been cultivating for more than 2 months. Now, it seemed like it had finally succeeded. Indeed, in the next moment, a red figure flew out from Lin Xian's demonic beast pouch. Then, it roared towards the sky and rushed towards the clouds. Its body had already expanded to 100 feet long. The entire immortal martial academy heard the dragon's roar. Instantly, everyone was excited and started searching for it. That's the roar of a dragon. In the immortal martial academy, the elders were all excited. Each of them emitted a powerful light and rushed towards the sky. Even Headmaster Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Like 2 sharp swords, they pierced through the void and stared upwards. It couldn't be helped. They were simply too shocked. One had to know that dragons were mysterious existences. Although they had a drop of dragon blood in the true spirit palace, they had paid a great price to obtain it. And there was only 1 drop in total. Thus, how could they not be shocked when they heard the dragon's roar? Lin Xian also looked at the sky in surprise. At this moment, the dark red divine dragon was 300 meters long and looked extraordinarily mighty. Not only that, but its body was also filled with an enormous pressure. 8th Heaven Venerable Realm. Who would have thought that a drop of the heavenly netherbird's essence blood would allow the dark red godly dragon to recover from the 5th firmament of the martial saint realm to the 8th firmament of the martial saint realm? This was undoubtedly a huge improvement. It seemed that the dark red divine dragon was also very excited. He roared at the sky again, and his voice spread in all directions. This directly alarmed the elders of the immortal martial academy. They all extended their perception outwards. There were even people who took action to search for the mystical dragon. Ruffian Long, hurry up and come down. Otherwise, you'll be captured and refined into medicine. Lin Xian hurriedly transmitted his voice. Although the 8th firmament of the martial saint realm was powerful, it wasn't invincible. One had to know that the immortal martial academy was a king faction. There were definitely 9th firmament of the martial saint realm, half-step kings, and even king realm existences. If those people were to make a move, the dark red divine dragon would definitely be captured. Don't worry, kid. They won't be able to capture me. The dark red divine dragon laughed weirdly again. Then, his body kept shrinking. Finally, he turned into a bolt of lightning and landed in Lin Xian's courtyard. Strange, the dragon's roar disappeared? Damn it, I didn't notice it. The group of elders of the Immortal Martial Academy were very angry. They were so close, they could have seen the legendary dragons. If someone were to see this scene, they would definitely be shocked because there were no lack of 8th firmament venerables among the elders. There were even a few 9th firmament venerables. They were all extremely powerful existences. However, these people were very disappointed because they had missed the mystical dragon. On the other hand, Dean Xian narrowed his eyes with a suspicious look. This was because he only saw a blurry figure and didn't see the real dragons. However, as a king, his strength was extraordinary. Therefore, he saw the illusory figure land in the Immortal Martial Academy. Moreover, the direction it landed in seemed to be where Lin Xian was. Could the dragons be related to that kid? Dean Xian was shocked. In the courtyard, Lin Xian looked at the dark red divine dragon and rolled his eyes. You made such a big commotion the moment you came out. Aren't you afraid of being caught? Hee hee, I'm not afraid. Even a king might not be able to catch me now. The dark red divine dragon was very confident. Hearing this, Lin Xian shook his head helplessly. Then he took out a crystal ball from his storage ring and threw it to the dark red divine dragon. "This is for you. See if you like it." "What's this?" "Kid, you prepared a gift for me?" The dark red divine dragon was puzzled. Then he received the crystal ball. However, in the next moment he was stunned. His body started trembling slightly. "This is dragon's blood. You exchanged it for dragon's blood. Haha, that's great. With this dragon's blood, I can recover my strength again." The dark red divine dragon was like an old monster as he roared towards the sky. This time, it was too good. First, he had the heavenly netherbird's blood essence. Now, he had the dragon's blood. It wouldn't take long for him to recover his true strength. At that time, he would be like the heavenly netherbird, causing the entire Tianwu continent to tremble. However, Lin Xian said, "Don't go into seclusion first. Help me set up a formation. I want to absorb the source of the black flame in the feather." Lin Xian had a heavenly netherbird feather in his hand. It contained the origin flame. He had long wanted to absorb it, but he was afraid that it would attract the attention of the heavenly netherbird. If that happened, the entire immortal martial academy would be in trouble. Now, with the dark red divine dragon, he could set up a formation to prevent the black flame's chi from leaking out. This way, even the heavenly netherbird wouldn't be able to find it. "Don't worry, leave it to me," the dark red divine dragon said. Then he started to set up the formation. Now that he had recovered his strength, the speed at which he set up the formation had increased. In just one day, he had set up an ancient formation that covered Lin Xian's entire courtyard. With the dark red divine dragon's formation, Lin Xian was completely at ease. Then he took out the origin silk feather and prepared to cultivate. The feather was as long as a chopstick. It was completely black, like a black jade. On top of it, there was a ball of black flame that burned fiercely. It was like the fire of hell. Lin Xian didn't hesitate. In the next moment, he activated his spiritual energy and began to absorb it. Chapter 1246. Finally, a few days later, a few old men arrived at the Immortal Martial Academy. They were all experts, so their arrival didn't attract the attention of the ordinary disciples. Other than Din Xian, no one knew that there were experts from the War God Palace. This time, there were a total of more than 10 people. All of them were old men with white hair. Some of them were even holding crutches. These people had powerful auras. The weakest was at the 8th heaven, and some were at the 9th heaven. "I'm sure everyone knows the reason why I called you all here," Din Xian said in a deep voice. "You're saying that the young master has grown to the point where he can take charge and we can meet?" The group of old men were excited. "To be honest, his growth has surprised me. He's no weaker than an 8th heaven reverend now," Din Xian said slowly. "What? The young master's strength has grown so fast?" The group of old men were shocked. "Quick, let me see the young master." They were too excited because they knew of Lin Xian's existence. However, Lin Xian's cultivation was too weak at that time. In order to protect Lin Xian from being hunted down, they didn't meet him immediately. Instead, they let Lin Xian enter the Immortal Martial Academy. Now, Lin Xian had just entered the academy for a year and he was already able to fight against an 8th heaven reverend. This was beyond their expectations. One must know that even a peerless genius wouldn't have such a terrifying cultivation speed. Therefore, the group of old men wanted to see Lin Xian immediately. "Everyone, don't panic. That kid is now in seclusion. I'm afraid you won't be able to see him for a few days," Din Xian explained. "What? The young master is in seclusion again? He's really hardworking. No wonder he can improve so much in such a short time." "Din Xian, don't worry. We won't disturb the young master. We'll just watch him from afar." These old men couldn't hold it in anymore. All right. Din Xian knew that these old men were anxious. Moreover, he believed that these old men wouldn't do anything to harm Lin Xian. Instantly, the group of people flew towards Lin Xian's courtyard. The speed of these people was simply shocking. With a step, they had already appeared on the horizon. Therefore, it didn't take long for them to arrive above Lin Xian's courtyard. "Let me see if young master looks the same as the portrait." A red-robed elder was excited. Nonsense, of course young master looks the same as in the painting. If not, what else could he look like? At the side, an old man in a green robe retorted. Old 8, what do you know? Of course, young master was much more handsome than in the portrait. If you don't even know this, what are you doing here? The red-robed old man snorted coldly. Everyone was already used to these two old fellows, so no one tried to stop them when they quarreled. The other elders all looked down, but soon, they cried out in alarm. There's actually a protective formation. The Institute of Heavenly Arts has been looking for you. You are protecting our young master so carefully. The group of old men looked at Headmaster Xian gratefully. But since we're all here, let's open the formation. Dean Xian shook her head slightly. I think you are mistaken. I didn't set up this array formation. You didn't set it up? Could it be that young master set it up himself? As expected of young master, he is indeed cautious. Forget it, I'll do it myself and break the formation. The old men finally couldn't take it anymore and were ready to do it themselves. But soon, they were shocked again, because they realized that they couldn't break the formation at all. What a strange formation. I can't break it. The red-robed old man was shocked. Go away. Watch me. The green-robed old man snorted and quickly made his move. However, he frowned. This isn't an ordinary formation. It seems to be an ancient formation. Young master is indeed extraordinary. He actually knows such an ancient formation. Many old men tried to break it, but they couldn't. Of course, they could use their powerful battle prowess to forcefully blast it open. However, doing so would definitely alarm Lin Xian, who was below. So, they could only wait patiently. Forget it. For young master's safety, let's wait patiently. The red-robed old man sighed, then sat cross-legged in the void. When the other old men saw that, they also waited quietly. Even the Xian courtyard didn't leave. The group of people stayed above Lin Xian's courtyard and stayed there for 7 days. After 7 days, a scorching aura suddenly came from below. It was like a heat wave that quickly surged into the sky. Immediately, the old men above all opened their eyes. What a terrifying fire attribute energy. Could it be that young master is a fire attribute martial artist? You don't say. This fire attribute is really pure. I'm afraid it's rare in the world. They were all experts, so they could sense the fire attribute energy in the air with just a little bit of perception. Immediately, they laughed because Lin Xian was their young master. The more powerful Lin Xian was, the happier they would be. In the courtyard, Lin Xian sat cross-legged and suddenly opened his eyes. 2 balls of black flames burned in his eyes. It was very strange. The next moment, he turned his gaze and looked at a rockery in front of him. Suddenly, a light flashed in his eyes. A ball of black flames quickly surged out and instantly pounced on the rockery in front of him. Whoosh whoosh. In an instant, the rockery was burned clean, leaving only a ball of black flames dancing. Not only that, the black flames seemed to be inextinguishable. They stayed there for a long time and showed no signs of weakening. In the end, Lin Xian waved his hand and collected the black flames on the ground. The flames in Lin Xian's eyes were the flame martial soul that he had condensed. Furthermore, the black flames came from the heavenly netherbird's body. Its power was terrifying. Now that Lin Xian had unleashed it, its effect was no weaker than the heavenly netherbird's. This made him very happy. With the black flame martial soul, his strength had increased by a lot. He believed that if he faced Meng Tian now, he would only need a glance to set his opponent's body ablaze. Furthermore, the flames could not be extinguished. Ordinary 8th level honorables would not be able to resist such means. However, he quickly frowned and looked up into the sky. This was because he could sense that there were dozens of powerful auras above him with his soul power. These auras were very strong. The weakest one was an 8th level honorable. There was even a king's aura. This caused him to be extremely shocked. With so many experts above him, it seemed that there was something important going on. However, he was not too worried. This was because he could sense that the king's aura should belong to Dean Xian. Presumably, these people would not pose any threat to him. Therefore, Lin Xian asked the dark red divine dragon to remove the array. Then, he said in a deep voice, "Seniors, please come in." Above him, Dean Xian and the elders of the Palace of Gods of War were waiting patiently. Suddenly, they realized that the array below them had been opened. Furthermore, a voice entered their ears. "Seniors, please come in." Chapter 1247. Dean Xian smiled faintly as she turned around. In the courtyard, a gust of wind blew and more than 10 elders appeared. These people had powerful auras and strength. Their eyes were especially dazzling. Moreover, they were all staring at Lin Xian. Being stared at by so many powerful elders, even Lin Xian couldn't help but feel scared. However, those elders didn't care. They all ran forward and hugged Lin Xian as they burst into tears. "Young Lord, we finally meet you. That's great. We have hope now. Young Lord, you must lead us to take back the Palace of Ares." The group of elders was excited. When Lin Xian heard these words, he was also shocked. At this moment, he realized that these powerful elders were all from the Palace of Ares. Of course, they should be on his father's side and not on the Vice Palace Master's side. "Seniors, let's talk nicely. Don't be so agitated. Young Lord, don't call us seniors anymore. You're making us feel bad." The group of elders quickly shook their heads. The red-robed elder said, "We're all elders of the Palace of Ares. I'm the 7th, this is the 8th, 11th, 12th, and 14th. The red-robed elder introduced. Lin Xian then realized that these were all elders of the Palace of Ares. They were all core elders. "All right, elders, don't cry anymore. Tell me about the situation in the Palace of Gods of War first, and how is my father?" Lin Xian asked. The situation of the Palace of Ares isn't optimistic. Overall, we're at a disadvantage and completely suppressed. But don't worry, young lord. Although we're suppressed, they can't destroy us. Moreover, now that you're back, I believe that you'll be able to lead us to take back the Palace of Ares soon. As for the Palace Master, he's still in seclusion. Don't worry, the Vice Palace Master and those people can't hurt him at all. Lin Xian frowned slightly when he heard the 7th elder's words. Overall, the situation on their side was not good. It was very bad, but as long as the Vice Palace Master didn't become a true king, they wouldn't lose. Looks like I have to hurry up. What can we do to turn the tables and defeat them? Lin Xian asked. The 7th elder thought for a moment and said, "There are two main aspects. First, resources. As long as we have more resources than them, we can slow down the Vice Palace Master's breakthrough. As long as he doesn't break through and become a true king, we still have a chance of winning. Secondly, allies. Now, the Palace of Gods of War has many powerful allies. Among them, the Shen family of the King family also supports them. But luckily, we have immortal martial arts on our side, so it can be considered a draw. However, the clans below are far inferior to them." Lin Xian nodded. He finally understood. "How about this, 7th elder, you go back and take charge of the situation. I'll do my best to conquer the entire Blood Realm as soon as possible. I think it will definitely be of great help in terms of resources." Subdue the Blood Realm. Hearing this, the 7th elder and the others were shocked. Even the headmaster Xian was surprised. Although this idea is good, the Blood Realm isn't so easy to conquer. In the past few hundred years, the Blood Realm hasn't been truly unified. Yes, young master, the Blood Realm is too chaotic. The forces inside are too complicated. Not only that, the Vice Palace Master has already intervened in the Blood Realm. Among them, Wu Zun and young Master Ling Feng are in the Blood Realm. I'm afraid they're in charge of more than half of the Blood Realm. Indeed, the Blood Realm was a very special place in the Sky Martial Continent. It was very chaotic, so it wasn't truly unified. However, the resources inside were very rich, so many forces were fighting here. But the biggest force was still Wu Zun and young Master Ling Feng's faction. Don't worry, since I said so. I'll definitely be able to do it. Lin Xian's gaze was firm. Don't worry, after all, there's still our immortal martial academy here. With us here, Lin Xian won't be harmed. At this moment, the headmaster Xian also spoke. All right, then we'll leave behind a few elders to assist young master." The 7th elder and the others discussed and finally agreed. In the end, they left behind the 9th elder and the 10th elder, while the rest returned to take charge of the situation. "Young master, what should we do next?" The 9th elder asked. After all, subduing the blood realm wasn't a simple matter, and they didn't have much time left. "I still have some cultivators under me. Many of them are disciples of the Immortal Martial Academy, and some of them are from other small forces. Although it's not much, it's enough for now. How about this, 9th elder? You go to the Immortal Martial Auction and take charge of the situation. You have to make sure that the Immortal Martial Auction's reputation is completely spread. 10th elder, I'll give you some cultivators. You guys quickly go and gather the scattered forces and increase our strength." The 10th elder nodded, but the 9th elder was somewhat puzzled. "Young master, are we going to manage the auction?" Although the profits from the auction were very high, the cycle was too long. And if there weren't any treasures up for auction, the reputation of the Immortal Martial Auction would quickly decline. Lin Xian didn't explain this point. Instead, he took out 2 pill recipes from his storage ring. The 9th elder and the 10th elder had a look of suspicion, but when they received the pill recipes and saw the contents, they were both stunned. Then, the 2 of them were extremely shocked. Longevity pill. Not old-time tea. This was exactly what was recorded in the 2 pill recipes. Of course, this longevity pill didn't really mean immortality, but it was a type of pill that increased one's lifespan. This pill was useful for all cultivators, and even kings could take it. Moreover, depending on the effect, it could increase one's lifespan by 30 to 100 years. Don't underestimate this lifespan. Although it wasn't much for normal cultivators, for those elders who were about to die, it was a life-saving straw. Not to mention 30 years, even if it was just an extra year, these people would still fight over it. One had to know that there was only hope if one was alive. Maybe one day they would break through. And once they died, there would be nothing left. Therefore, no matter if you were an ordinary person or a top king, lifespan would always be something that everyone pursued. And now, Lin Xian actually had a pill that could increase one's lifespan. This was too shocking. Not old-time tea's effect was similar. It didn't directly increase one's lifespan, but it slowed down one's aging in another way. This kind of thing also made people go crazy. One had to know that when those elders reached their old age, their qi and blood would be depleted, and their strength would decline. It was impossible for them to reach their peak. Chapter 1248. This was the reason why the blood qi in his body had withered. However, the immortal tea could alleviate this situation. At least, it would prevent his cultivation from dropping too much in his later years. If he took it for a long time, it could even stabilize his cultivation. Moreover, it had the effect of maintaining one's appearance. This was especially important for female martial artists. Women were born to be beautiful. Other than longevity, they also pursued beauty. This was not old-time tea, it could achieve this. Hence, if these 2 items were taken out, it would definitely shock the entire Tianwu continent. At that time, countless people would go crazy over them. "Young master, is this true?" The 9th elder and the 9th elder were shocked. No wonder the young master was so confident. With these 2 miraculous elixirs, he could definitely amass a large amount of wealth. Not only wealth, but also relationships. After all, the elixirs that could increase one's lifespan were extremely precious. There would not be many of them. At that time, it would not be something that could be bought with money. Lin Xian had found these 2 items in the inheritance of King Danyu. However, the herbs needed to refine these 2 items were extremely precious and rare. They were probably extinct in the outside world. However, Lin Xian had obtained the herbs to refine these elixirs in the remote sky mystery land. Hence, he thought of these 2 elixirs. Even King Danyu might not have refined the longevity elixir back then. This was because it was too precious. "Young master, although these elixirs are rare and precious, others might not believe it." The 9th elder voiced out his worries. Indeed, elixirs that could increase one's lifespan were too shocking. Those martial artists might not believe it so easily. With regards to this, Lin Xian nodded and agreed. However, he had already thought of a solution. Hence, he asked, are there any big forces in Tianwu continent that are having special activities recently? For example, birthday banquets and such? The ninth elder thought for a while and said, Young master, now that you have reminded me, there are indeed two. One is the current Zhuang Zhu of Deity Sword Villa. He is celebrating his 1000th birthday. Deity Sword Villa was a top 6th rank sect. Its strength was only slightly weaker than the sovereign families. It could be said that it was very powerful. Now that Zhuang Zhu of Deity Sword Villa was celebrating his birthday, he would probably invite the entire Tianwu continent. Deity Sword Villa. Lin Xian muttered, then narrowed his eyes. When exactly is this birthday banquet? 2 months later. Alright, I understand. Lin Xian nodded. He did not know Zhuang Zhu from the Deity Sword Villa, but he had seen the Sword Venerable from the Deity Sword Villa before. Moreover, he had a certain understanding of the other party's character. Because last time in the remote sky secret realm, everyone was fighting over the blue wind sword, but that sword sovereign did not make a move against him. It could be imagined that the other party's character was trustworthy. Sword sovereign, I've prepared a big gift for you. Lin Xian said with a smile. Then he asked, anything else? Yes, there's another one. It's the Shen family. The Shen family? Lin Xian was puzzled. That's right, it's the Qin family. The ninth elder said, 1 month later, a little princess of the Qin family will celebrate her birthday. This is also a grand occasion in the Sky Martial continent. At that time, all the young talents of the various sects will definitely gather at the Murong family. I've never heard of the Qin family's little princess? Lin Xian asked. He knew that the Murong family had a little princess, and that was Murong Qingqing. However, he really did not know about the Qin family's little princess. But thinking about it, she shouldn't be too bad. Actually, young master does not need to be surprised. Not many people know about this. I'm afraid that only those top powers and families know about it. But why is that? Logically speaking, the other party was the Qin family's little princess. She should not be any worse than Murong Qingqing. Such a person was definitely an outstanding talent of the younger generation in the Sky Martial continent. But the ninth elder's meaning was that not many people knew about it. Sigh, actually, this Qin family's little princess is also a pitiful person. The ninth elder said slowly, she was indeed a stunning person in the past. Furthermore, she was extremely beautiful. She was not any worse than Murong Qingqing. Lin Xian nodded. However, this made him even more puzzled. Since she was such a person, why did they hide her? Could it be that the Qin family has some other motive? It's not that the Qin family intentionally hid her. It's just that something happened in between. 3 years ago, the Qin family's little princess left the Sky Martial continent on a long journey. When she returned, she coincidentally encountered the awakening of her bloodline. However, during the process, something went wrong and she suffered a backlash from her bloodline. As a result, she was burned. Her meridians were damaged. On the outside, her skin and appearance were burned. It was rumored that the Qin family also had an extremely powerful bloodline. Furthermore, the little princess bloodline at that time was even more powerful. Even the Qin family's king could not do anything about it. Therefore, that year, the Qin family's little princess lost her cultivation and her appearance was destroyed. After that, although she survived, she lost all hope. Gradually, there was no news of her in the Sky Martial continent. This time, it was her 20th birthday. Presumably, the Murong family wanted to use this opportunity to form a marriage alliance with another family. Marriage alliance? Her entire body was burned. How could she form a marriage alliance? Lin Xian frowned. Although she was burned, her status is still there. After all, she is a direct descendant of the Qin family. I'm afraid there will be many warriors coming to propose marriage. After all, to be able to form a relationship with the Qin family is everyone's dream. Sigh, she's also a pitiful person. Lin Xian sighed. What's the name of the Qin family's little princess? Oh, I know this. She's called Xinjingqiu. Ninth elder said. What did you say her name was? Lin Xian jumped up. Xinjingqiu. Ninth elder was puzzled. Could it be that young master knows her? Lin Xian was stunned. A scene appeared in his mind. It was in an underground palace, and a beautiful young woman said to him, Lin Xian, you must come to the Sky Martial Continent to find me. In the end, the young woman only left behind a crescent-shaped pendant and then left. After that, Lin Xian came to the Sky Martial Continent, but there was no news of Xinjingqiu. The Sky Martial Continent was too vast. It was extremely difficult to find a person. Lin Xian thought that he would never see her again in this life. But he did not expect to hear news of her now. So she was actually the Qin family's little princess. So the reason why there was no news of her all these years was because something happened to her. The Qin family had probably sealed off all news of Xinjingqiu. No wonder he did not hear anything. Jingqiu, I won't let anything happen to you. Lin Xian clenched his fists. Xinjingqiu had met with such a miserable fate that even a king could not do anything about it. It could be said that there was no hope of recovery in this life. But it was different now. Lin Xian knew about this matter, and he also had the old-time tea in his hands. With this miraculous spiritual tea, he believed that it could completely heal Xinjingqiu's injuries. Chapter 1249. He went into seclusion to refine the longevity pill and everlasting old-time tea. With Lin Xian's current strength, refining 8th grade pills was no problem at all. If he used the 1000 Beast Cauldron, he could even refine 9th grade pills. The longevity pill was very special. Its grade was not fixed and could fluctuate. The lowest grade was an 8th grade pill, and the highest grade could even surpass 9th grade pills and reach the level of divine medicine. According to the grade, the lifespan of the longevity pill was different. Lin Xian could now refine 8th grade pills that could increase lifespan by 30 years or 9th grade pills that could increase lifespan by 50 years. After thinking about it, Lin Xian finally refined an 8th grade pill that could increase lifespan by 30 years. The spiritual herbs needed to refine these pills were extremely precious and could not be found in the outside world. Lin Xian did not have many of them either. It could be said that the more he used, the less he would have. Therefore, he only took a little of them and planted the rest in the mysterious space of the small sword in his body. Since the purple thunder bamboo could be planted there, other spiritual herbs could be planted there as well. Lin Xian tried it and found that the spiritual herbs that he used to refine the longevity pill could all grow here. This made him completely relieved. This way, he did not have to worry about the spiritual herbs. Because the spiritual energy in this mysterious space was abundant and the growth speed was much faster than the outside world, he could quickly obtain rich spiritual herbs. Not only that, Lin Xian also planted an immortal tea tree inside. The immortal tea did not need to be refined. It only needed to be plucked from the leaves of the immortal tea tree to make tea. However, the leaves were very rare. The one in Lin Xian's hand only had 30 leaves. He did not eat the longevity pill, but he drank the immortal tea. He found that the effects were surprisingly good. The leaves of the immortal tea tree were too few now. If there were more leaves in the future, he could give these to his friends. Long-term consumption could definitely strengthen one's martial arts foundation and even preserve one's youth. Lin Xian was refining pills and cultivating spiritual herbs in preparation for the birthday banquet of the Shen family's little princess. Not only him, but the other families were also preparing because they knew that this was not a simple birthday banquet. Behind this banquet, there was also the purpose of marriage. Although the little princess of the Shen family was disfigured, she was still a direct descendant of the Shen family. Moreover, her father held great power in the family. Therefore, to be able to marry such a woman was extremely good for every family. At the very least, he would be able to climb up the Shen family's tree and even become a core member of the Shen family. Therefore, although those young disciples were unwilling, the elders of the family tried their best to matchmake them. Shuiyu Wuji Palace. This was a very famous building in the Blood Realm because its owner was a martial saint. Wu Zun's strength was extraordinary, and he had reached the 9th heavenly layer of the Venerable Realm. Moreover, he had a noble status. As the son of the Vice Palace Lord of the War God Technique, it could be said that he was second only to one person. At this moment he was sitting in the main hall, quietly listening to the reports from his subordinates. Beside him stood a handsome young man. However, this young man's face was as cold as ice, without a trace of expression. This person was the famous young master Ling Feng of the Sky Martial Continent. He was also the son of a martial saint and the grandson of the Vice Palace Lord. At this moment, he said coldly, although the little princess of the Shun family is disfigured, she is still very useful. Therefore, this time, we must obtain the marriage alliance. Young master is right. At the side, a few martial saints in armor also responded. Previously, we had some conflicts with the Shun family in the remote sky secret realm, which caused our relationship to break. If we can marry the little princess of the Shun family this time, we will definitely be able to mend the cracks from before and even improve our relationship. At that time, with the full support of the Shun family, I think we can easily take down the War God Palace. Yes. Above, the martial saint on the throne nodded slightly after hearing this. Then he asked again, by the way, you said that Lin Zhan's son has appeared and his strength is not bad? Indeed, he has appeared and defeated Yan Feng and Duan Tianxing. This boy's speed of growth has indeed exceeded our expectations. We must kill him as soon as possible to prevent him from causing trouble. The martial saint frowned slightly. Yes, but that boy should be well protected now. I'm afraid it will be difficult to kill him in a short period of time. That's true. Since they know the boy's identity, they must be prepared. The martial saint tapped lightly on the void with his finger. Instantly, a sonorous sound was heard and the entire space seemed to be frozen. Instantly, the atmosphere in the hall became heavy. No one dared to say a word and everyone lowered their heads respectfully. At this moment, the handsome and cold young master Ling Feng spoke. He's just a boy. Father, you don't have to worry about him. Just leave it to me. All right, I'll leave the matter of the youngsters to you. The martial saint nodded. He was very confident in his son. After all, the title of young master Ling Feng was not for nothing. As for the marriage alliance candidate, let the fifth brother go. Yes, I will inform the fifth young master now. In fact, not only the War God Palace, the Murong family, Merry Woods, Divine Bird Palace, Deity Sword Villa and other major forces all chose their outstanding disciples to participate in the banquet. This time, they must obtain the marriage alliance. Immortal Martial Academy. This place was extremely peaceful. There were no fluctuations because of the birthday banquet of the little princess of the Shun clan. This was because the Immortal Martial Academy was an independent power and did not participate in the struggles of other powers. Its responsibility was to cultivate and nurture talented disciples. Of course, Lin Xian's matter was an exception. This was because Lin Xian's father, Lin Zhan, had helped the Immortal Martial Academy in the past. This was why the dean of the Immortal Martial Academy was willing to help Lin Xian. In the courtyard, the 10th elder's figure appeared, holding an invitation card in his hand. Young master, the invitation card is in our hands. We can set off now. Oh, I know. Lin Xian took in a deep breath. This time, he must save Shinjingqiu. This time, Lin Xian only brought Yu Fei with him. Wang Li, Dongfang Xiong and the rest stayed in the Immortal Martial Academy and the auction. The Crimson Divine Dragon went into seclusion to refine the dragon blood. But it was just a banquet. With Lin Xian's current strength, he could definitely handle it. As for the 9th elder and 10th elder, they hid in the shadows and followed silently. As long as Lin Xian's life was not in danger, they would not show themselves. Let's go. Lin Xian summoned the golden-feathered divine eagle and set off. Naturally, young Master Ling Feng's men found out about his actions. Instantly, the news reached young Master Ling Feng. Chapter 1250. He's just a piece of trash and he wants to attend the Shun family's banquet. He's courting death. Young Master Ling Feng snorted. In his opinion, Lin Xian must be thinking of marrying into the Shun family to obtain a powerful assistant. However, young Master Ling Feng would not allow such a thing to happen. Go find a few people and make a move on the way. cripple that brat for me. Don't kill him. I want him alive. Bring him here. Young Master Ling Feng's voice was cold and emotionless. Yes, I'll arrange it now. Instantly, a martial artist who was like a shadow said respectfully. Young Master, please instruct me. Hearing young Master Ling Feng's words, the martial artist who wanted to leave immediately stopped in his tracks. That kid is not weak now. Send some 8th heaven reverence. Forget it. Let's send a message to the Skynet organization and ask them to send some people to bring that kid here. Yes, I'll do it now. Instantly, the martial artist left quickly. However, young Master Ling Feng's eyes flashed and his lips curled into a smile. So what if those people know your identity? I'll send the strongest assassin organization to kill you. I don't believe you can escape. Offend me? I'll let you know what hell is. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for not existing in this world. Because the Palace of Gods of War only has one young master, and that's me. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. Lin Xian had completely left the Immortal Martial Academy's territory. At this moment, he was sitting cross-legged on the golden-feathered divine eagle and cultivating silently. Beside him, Yu Fei used his spiritual energy to create a spiritual energy palace for Lin Xian to use. Not bad. You've improved a lot recently. Looking at the spiritual energy palace, Lin Xian nodded slightly. Actually, I have to thank you, Brother Xian. If it wasn't for the treasures you gave me, I wouldn't have the strength I have now. Yu Fei was very grateful. His strength had already reached the 6th heaven reverend realm. Moreover, his martial soul was very special. It was the shadow martial soul, which was good at sensing and spying. It could be said that it was very suitable for intelligence work. Lin Xian nodded but didn't say anything else. Instead, he closed his eyes and continued to cultivate. He had the most heavenly treasures in his hands, so he would not waste any time cultivating. At the same time, there were 4 figures behind him. They were moving swiftly in the void like ghosts. It has already been a day. Now that he has completely left the territory of the Immortal Martial Academy, we can make our move now. Alright, be careful later. Don't kill that brat. Just cripple him. Don't worry, big brother. We are professionals. Capturing a brat at the 7th heavenly layer is not a problem. The 4 of them were extremely confident as they sped up. In front of him, the golden feather divine eagle spread its wings and soared. Its speed was fast and steady. But all of a sudden, Lin Xian, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes. At the side, Yu Fei also frowned with a solemn expression. Older brother Xian, there seems to be a situation. My shadow martial spirit has sensed that something is wrong with the surrounding aura. Lin Xian was quite surprised by the shadow martial soul's effects. He didn't expect it to be able to sense such minute changes. One should know that even a demonic beast like the golden feather divine eagle didn't sense any danger. There is indeed danger. Be careful later and protect yourself. There's no need to attack. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Yu Fei knew Lin Xian's strength. He was someone who could even defeat Meng Tian and the others. Ordinary martial artists wouldn't be a match for him at all. However, he had still underestimated this sneak attack. In front, back, left, and right, the space suddenly split open. 4 long swords flickered with cold light as they pierced towards Lin Xian's head and heart. This sneak attack was too sudden. As a result, the 4 long swords were less than 10 feet away from Lin Xian. Moreover, this attack was extremely fierce and contained the powerful aura of an 8th heavenly layer venerable. 8th heavenly layer venerable. 4 8th heavenly layer venerables. In an instant, Yu Fei's expression changed drastically. He knew that there was a change in the situation and that someone was here to sneak an attack. However, he didn't expect the other party to be 4 8th heavenly layer venerables. One should know that they were 8th heavenly layer venerables. They were peerless powerhouses in the eyes of the world. Yet now, there were 4 of them. Furthermore, they were charging toward Lin Xian together. This was a sure-death situation. Brother Xian, be careful. Yu Fei roared crazily and was about to stand up to block an attack. In fact, the 9th elder and the 10th elder, who were hiding in the dark, looked extremely solemn. Both of them couldn't help but attack. However, Lin Xian said coldly, "No need, I'll do it myself." Hearing that, the 9th elder and the 10th elder froze. They hesitated for a moment but did not attack in the end. In the next moment, a large hand of spiritual energy pressed down on Yu Fei and formed a spiritual energy shield to protect him. On the other hand, a powerful energy burst out from Lin Xian's body and quickly formed 4 huge fists that blasted in all directions. The 2 fists in front and behind flickered with purple and white lightning and were extremely violent. The 2 fists on the left and right were pitch black. Black flames danced on them with a strange aura. The 4 fists appeared together and quickly blasted towards the 4 long swords that were piercing towards them. Boom! An earth-shattering sound was heard as violent energy exploded. The 4 fists were extremely terrifying and instantly forced the 4 long swords back. After the earth-shattering sound, the 4 figures retreated pathetically. They slid a few hundred feet in the air before coming to a stop. They were 4 black-clothed men. Their bodies were shrouded in black fog and were extremely strange. However, their killing intent was extremely monstrous. Although their faces couldn't be seen clearly, their faces were filled with shock. He blocked it? How is that possible? Impossible, how did this kid do it? They were so shocked that they couldn't believe what was happening in front of them. The other party had actually forced all 4 of them back in an instant. How was that possible? One had to know that they were 8th level supremacies and top assassins. Therefore, they were extremely strange and no one could investigate them. When the 4 of them joined forces, they could already kill a top figure among 8th level supremacies, let alone a mere 7th level supremacies. However, they had failed. Damn it, everyone be careful. This kid is too strange. The leader was a middle-aged man. Originally, he didn't care about this mission at all because the other party was only a 7th level supremacies. In his opinion, the other party had only angered young Master Ling Feng and sent them to assassinate him. However, he now realized that he was very wrong. This wasn't an ordinary 7th level supremacies. It seemed that this mission wouldn't be completed so easily. Chapter 1251. Even the 9th elder and the 10th elder, who were hiding in the dark, were shocked. It seems that we have underestimated the young master. That's right. Isn't his strength a little too terrifying? Is he really only a 7th level venerable? Forget it. The young master is too mysterious. We can't see through him. What we can do is to support him as much as we can. The 2 of them shook their heads and stopped talking. However, their expressions showed that they were very excited. Lin Xian's strength had exceeded their expectations. This made them even more confident that Lin Xian could lead them to take back the Palace of Gods. In front of them, Lin Xian stood up slowly after punching the 4 assassins. Then, he looked at the 4 of them coldly. Any last words? Leave them, Lin Xian said coldly. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Do you think you can be so arrogant just because you forced us to retreat? The middle-aged man snorted as his killing intent soared. Then, the 4 assassins soared into the sky and attacked Lin Xian again. Stubborn. Since that's the case, go to hell. Lin Xian snorted. He stomped his foot and flew out like a bolt of lightning. Humph, he's just a 7th heaven honorable. Does he really think he can fight against us? The middle-aged man snorted and shouted, "Attack with all your might. Just leave him with a breath." The remaining 3 assassins responded. Then, a violent aura exploded from their bodies as they unleashed their martial souls. The leftmost assassin's martial soul was a crimson bat. It was attached to his long sword and he quickly stabbed at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, on the other hand, swung his fist and threw a punch. A layer of black flames covered his fist. Boom! In the next moment, the black fist landed on the assassin in black. Immediately, the long sword in the assassin's hand burned together with his arm. Then it exploded. Ah! The assassin screamed and quickly retreated. He wanted to seek protection from his companions. As expected, the other 3 assassins changed their direction and charged at Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian was faster. Another punch blasted out, directly blasting the injured assassin into pieces. The sky was filled with a bloody mist, and the pungent smell of blood stimulated everyone's nerves. Everyone was stunned. 8th level Venerable, that was a genuine 8th level Venerable. He was actually blasted apart by 2 punches. The scene was simply too shocking. Damn it, I must kill him. The remaining 3 assassins went berserk and quickly charged towards Lin Xian. This time, the 3 of them moved together, determined to take down Lin Xian. On the other hand, Lin Xian's expression was as cold as ice. Above his fist, a black flame burned fiercely. It was like the fire of hell, strange and cold. Lin Xian used the Void Spirit Illusory Demon Step. His speed was extremely terrifying, and he disappeared from the spot in an instant. Competing in speed? How can you possibly be a match for us? The 3 assassins sneered disdainfully. He quickly turned his body. Fight against it. However, in the next moment, one of them let out a terrified scream. What? How can you keep up with me? The assassin was too terrified. One had to know that as assassins and 8th level venerables, their speed could be said to be extremely fast. Not many people of the same level could keep up with them. However, the young man in front of them had a lower cultivation level, but his speed was faster than theirs. They could not accept that at all. However, Lin Xian did not answer at all. He only raised his palm and slammed it downwards. His palm was covered in black flames like a flaming demonic mountain, and it instantly enveloped the assassin. Bang! The assassin could not dodge at all and was smashed into a bloody pulp. In just an instant, another 8th level assassin was killed. Shocking, it was really too shocking. For a moment, the entire scene was extremely silent. In the void, there were only black flames crackling and burning. The expressions of the remaining 2 assassins finally changed. They realized that Lin Xian did not kill their companion by luck, but by actual strength. Although he was only a 7th level venerable, his combat power had already surpassed theirs. Thinking of this, their bodies were drenched in cold sweat. Damn it, the information is wrong. Retreat quickly. We must inform young Master Ling Feng. The middle-aged man transmitted his voice, and then the 2 of them turned around and fled into the distance. Facing Lin Xian, they did not dare to fight at all. Want to leave? It's not that easy. Lin Xian sneered, but he did not chase after them. Instead, he stood in the void with his hands behind his back. Then, a ball of black flames appeared in his eyes and quickly surged out like clouds. In front, the 2 assassins in black fled quickly, and they were overjoyed when they sensed that Lin Xian did not chase after them. That's great, he didn't chase after them. As long as they can escape this calamity, we must report to young Master Ling Feng when we return and send out stronger assassins. However, not long after the 2 of them flew out, one of the assassins in black suddenly screamed. Countless black flames inexplicably rose from his body, burning fiercely. Damn it, get lost. The assassin in black had a pained expression as he quickly circulated his spiritual power to form a strong defense to resist. At the same time, a wave formed around him in an attempt to extinguish the black flames. However, it was completely useless. In just an instant, the defense on his body was burned, and his entire body turned into ashes in the black smoke. In the end, nothing was left. Seeing this scene, the middle-aged assassin who wanted to escape was stunned. His muscles stiffened, and he was extremely terrified. He did not dare to escape at all. How could he escape? The other party had killed his companion in an instant with just a look. Such terrifying strength could only make him feel despair. Who exactly are you? Are you a human or a ghost? This is impossible. How can you have such powerful strength? In the end, the surviving middle-aged assassin was about to go crazy. Killing an 8th level supremacy with just a lift of his hand was probably something only a 9th level supremacy or above could do. However, the other party was only a 7th level supremacy. Not only him, but even the 9th elder and the 9th elder who were hiding in the void were stunned and could not believe it. Is this the young master's strength? He's really powerful. Previously, they were quite dissatisfied with Lin Xian's order because they felt that the young master was a little arrogant. However, now it seemed that it was not the case at all. Because those 4 assassins were nothing in Lin Xian's eyes. Lin Xian stood in the void with his hands behind his back. The green robe on his body fluttered in the wind. His eyes were extremely deep, and there were flames flashing in them from time to time. He did not answer the middle-aged assassin's question. Instead, he said slowly, "You didn't run, which means that you're still very smart. Speak. Tell me everything you know, and I'll give you a quick death. You want to get information from me? Don't even think about it." The middle-aged assassin's expression was ferocious. The black fog on his body rolled, making him look extremely sinister. Chapter 1252. His speed was so fast that he was at the peak of the 8th heaven venerable realm. No one of the same cultivation level would be able to catch up to him. It seemed that the middle-aged assassin had used a secret technique to escape. Lin Xian sneered disdainfully. 2 balls of black flames surged out of his eyes and instantly flew into the sky. Then, the 2 balls of flames rapidly enlarged in the void and burned all over the sky. Finally, they formed a cage made of black flames and instantly enveloped the middle-aged assassin. Boom boom boom. An earth-shaking roar sounded, and a black cage floated in the void, trapping the middle-aged assassin. Lin Xian took a step forward and instantly arrived outside the cage. "Even if you kill me, you won't get any information." The middle-aged assassin gritted his teeth, his voice filled with determination. As an assassin, his life was not the most important thing. Keeping secrets was the most important thing. Lin Xian did not ask any more questions. With a thought, a black flaming hand appeared from the black cage and grabbed the middle-aged assassin's head. In the next moment, Lin Xian flipped his palm, and a small black cauldron appeared in his palm. Beast Slave Seal. The black light flickered and instantly disappeared between the middle-aged assassin's brows. Soon, the middle-aged assassin gave up resisting and floated in the void like a puppet. Lin Xian did not kill him. Instead, he planted a beast slave seal on him and made him a complete slave. The flames in the sky disappeared and returned to Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian also put his hands behind his back and had no intention of attacking again. At this moment, there were no obstacles around the middle-aged assassin, but he did not escape. Not only that, but the black fog around his body also dissipated, revealing his true appearance. It was a middle-aged man with a thin face. He wore a set of black soft armor with tiny needles on it. At this moment, the middle-aged man looked at Lin Xian and shouted respectfully, "Greetings, master." Lin Xian nodded slightly. "Return to your organization and gather information for me. Remember, don't expose yourself and don't make Ling Feng suspicious." "Yes, I understand." The middle-aged man nodded with a respectful expression. If one looked carefully, they would find that her expression was normal. There were no signs of her being controlled at all. This was the power of the 10,000 Beast Cauldron. With Lin Xian's Beast Slave Seal, no one below the King Realm would be able to detect it. "All right, you can go." Lin Xian waved his hand. After that, the middle-aged assassin bowed respectfully again, and then his body turned into a wisp of smoke and disappeared in the air. Seeing that the middle-aged assassin had left Lin Xian's golden feather divine condor's back. "All right, the trouble has been resolved. Let's go." Lin Xian sat down with his legs crossed. Okay." Only then did Yu Fei recover from his shock. He then asked with a puzzled expression, "Older brother Xian, are we really going to let that person go?" "Don't worry, he's my man now. Nothing will go wrong." Fei Fei nodded to Fei 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 to Lin Yu Fei nodded. Although he didn't understand, he believed in Lin Xian. In the next moment he activated his spirit energy again and condensed it into a palace. Then he urged the golden feather divine condor to continue flying. Yu Fei didn't understand, but the 9th elder and the 10th elder who were hiding in the dark were shocked. Did the young master control that assassin just now? It should be. Judging from the assassin's respectful manner and his attitude towards the young master, he must have controlled him. Otherwise, the young master wouldn't have let him go. The 10th elder also took a deep breath. This kind of control technique is too terrifying. Even an 8th heaven venerable realm martial artist couldn't resist at all. "Don't think about it. The young master is too mysterious. We just need to loyally assist the young master. The ninth elder was indeed very excited. After seeing Lin Xian's methods, his confidence increased greatly. The group flew quickly towards the Shun family's palace. At the same time, the mysterious middle-aged man also returned to the Skynet organization. No one would have thought that the famous assassin of the Blood Realm would have an organization like this. It was a lively street with shops everywhere. The people who came and went were all ordinary people. Even if there were martial artists, they were all weak martial artists. Venerables were very rare. It could be said that this was a very ordinary town. However, the middle-aged assassin landed on the street. At this moment, the black soft armor on his body had disappeared and was replaced by ordinary clothes. Not only that, but he had also changed from a murderous god to an ordinary person. No one would think that he was an assassin of the Skynet organization. The middle-aged assassin, Falcon, entered a very ordinary shop at this moment. It was a tailor's shop. There were only a dim-sighted old man and a 15 or 16-year-old boy inside. When the two of them saw the middle-aged man, Falcon, walk in, they nodded slightly and no longer paid attention to him. Falcon also nodded slightly and quickly passed through the shop and came to the backyard. Soon, he walked in front of a withered willow tree in the backyard. With a slap of his hand, a black hole appeared on the ground. Without any hesitation, Falcon leaped into the black hole. In the next moment, the black hole disappeared and the ground returned to normal. Falcon, who entered the black hole, seemed to have been teleported by a formation and arrived at an extremely mysterious place. This was the Skynet organization. Falcon, didn't you go on a mission? Why are you back so soon? Falcon, who was originally normal, became weak at this moment. Blood gushed out of his body as he crazily shouted. The mission failed. Hurry and inform young Master Ling Feng. Seeing Falcon on the verge of collapse, the surrounding assassins all panicked and rushed forward to save him. Falcon, are you okay? He's seriously injured. Hurry and send him for treatment. The group of people did not suspect anything. They thought that the mission failed and Falcon was seriously injured. On the other hand, Falcon buried his face deep into the darkness, but the corners of his mouth revealed a strange smile. Half a month later, Lin Xian and his group arrived at the Windy Nation. This was also an extremely powerful nation in the Tianwu continent. The imperial family of the Windy Nation was also a top 6th grade sect. The headquarters of the Shen family was not in the Windy Nation, but Shen Lingchuan was here. Shen Lingchuan was the 9th son of the Shen family's patriarch and an elder with real power in the Shen family. His cultivation had reached the 9th level of the Venerable Realm, and he had many important resources in his hands. He could be said to be an important figure in the Shen family. And he was also Shin Jingqiu's father. This time, Shin Jingqiu's birthday banquet was held in the Windy Nation. After Lin Xian and his group arrived at the Windy Nation, they felt the festive atmosphere. In the sky, rare beasts flew, and on the ground, there were many chariots galloping. These rare beasts had powerful warriors sitting cross-legged on them. Obviously, these were warriors who had come from all over the Tianwu continent to attend the birthday banquet. Chapter 1253. Blue Ice City. The atmosphere in the city was very lively, and the people who came and went were all aristocrats. The 9th elder had already made all the necessary arrangements, so Lin Xian was given the best and most luxurious residence in the city as soon as he arrived. This was the power of the Palace of Gods of War, the power of a king family. Lin Xian and the rest stayed there temporarily, waiting for the banquet to start. During this time, Yu Fei didn't stay idle, and started to gather information in the city. Brother Xian, I'm almost done. Yu Fei sent the information to Lin Xian. Although there are many families here, there are only a few families that have hopes of marriage. Among them, Wu Zun has sent a young man called Duan Fei. It is said that he is the 5th young master of the Duan family. The Merry Forest has sent the 7th young master, and the Murong family has sent the 6th young master. The Divine Bird Palace has sent the 2nd saint. The Deity Sword Manor has sent the 3rd sword son. Hearing the report, Lin Xian nodded slightly. These families were probably the top families, and they had the most hope of marriage with the Shen family. The other families didn't have much hope, and these people didn't come here for marriage, but to find their own powers to strengthen their families. It could be said that this birthday banquet was basically an exchange between the major powers, an exchange between the younger generation. These people actually treated Jingqiu's birthday banquet as a business deal, and they even want marriage? How despicable! Lin Xian snorted. A bunch of trash, how can they be worthy of Jingqiu? Soon, the day of the birthday banquet arrived. Lin Xian brought Yu Fei, the 9th elder, and the rest out of the palace, and walked towards the Shen family's mansion. The road was bustling with people, and it was very lively. Along the way, the 9th elder muttered to Lin Xian, "Young master, we are not in a good situation now, so don't make enemies at the banquet." "I know." Lin Xian nodded helplessly. He knew that the Palace of Gods of War was not in a good situation now, and it was not good to make enemies. So, he wouldn't take the initiative to provoke others, but if there was someone who dared to provoke him, then sorry. Just as they were talking, a low sound came from behind, like thunder, and the ground started to shake. Bang 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 bang. It was as if the earth was about to split open. The surrounding warriors also turned their heads and their expressions changed drastically. "Fuck, get out of the way! Berserk beast!" The group of people quickly retreated, opening up a path. It turned out that there was a huge golden lion running over from behind. It was an ancient beast. Its entire body was golden, as if it was made of gold. It was extraordinarily mighty. On the back of the golden lion sat a young man with an arrogant look on his face. Originally, there were many people on this road, so no one was riding on their mounts. However, the young man had no scruples as he led the golden lion on a rampage. There were even quite a few martial artists who were too slow and were sent flying by him. The golden lion roared in all directions, galloping like lightning. In the end, it actually charged towards Lin Xian and the others. Wherever he passed, countless strong wind blades were created. They were extremely sharp, cutting out terrifying cracks on the ground. Many of the wind blades even flew towards Lin Xian. Not good. Yu Fei's expression changed drastically. He could feel at least 10 wind blades flying towards them. Then, his expression changed, and he looked extremely furious. The golden lion was abnormally powerful. It had reached the level of an 8-star demon general, which was equivalent to an 8-star supremacy or even stronger. Such a demon beast was abnormally terrifying. Ordinary warriors would not dare to provoke it at all. Now, they were just walking peacefully, but the other party was causing trouble for them for no reason. Lin Xian's expression was normal. He had no intention of intervening because such a small matter did not require him to do anything. As expected, the 9th elder snorted coldly. A powerful aura surged from his body like an invisible hand and slapped towards the side. Instantly, the wind blades were slapped away. However, their expressions did not ease because the golden lion leaped and flew over their heads. It landed in front of them and blocked the entire street. When Yu Fei and the others saw the young man on the golden toilet paper, their expressions immediately darkened. Duan Fei, the 5th young master of the Duan family, was also the person sent by the martial supremacy to form a marriage alliance with the Shen family. Hearing Yu Fei's voice transmission, Lin Xian's expression also darkened. He did not expect to meet the other party here. However, before he could say anything, someone beside him roared angrily. "Who is it? How dare you commit murder on the street and injure the disciples of the Shenxing clan?" A burly man roared crazily. As it turned out, that stretch of wind blades earlier not only attacked Lin Xian, it also enveloped all the martial artists in the vicinity. Hence, many of them were injured now. The wind blades were not simple. They were sent out by the golden lion and could be said to be extremely terrifying. Hence, the ordinary warriors were all injured by the wind blades. Among them, many disciples of the Shenxing clan were also injured by the wind blades. Hence, the burly man was so angry. When the surrounding warriors heard the burly man's roar, they were also shocked. Shenxing clan, it's actually a 6th-rank sect. I didn't expect it to be them. Looks like this is going to be troublesome. Yeah, Shenxing clan is a 6th-rank sect and they have the Shenxing 13 guardians. They are very powerful. Look at the burly man's aura. He's very powerful. I'm afraid he's one of the 13 guardians. It's possible. Things are going to get serious. That young man riding the golden lion is probably not simple. After all, not many forces dare to use an 8-star demon general as a mount. Yeah, he's at least a disciple of a 6th-rank sect. Looks like there's going to be a show to watch this time. The crowd hid in the distance and discussed animatedly. However, at this moment, a disdainful voice sounded from behind. Shinshin clan is nothing. How dare you provoke our young Master Duan? You must be tired of living. As he spoke, a group of people riding powerful demon beasts quickly came from behind and stopped beside the golden lion. Then, these warriors all said respectfully to the young man on the golden lion, "Fifth young master, are you okay? Are you hurt?" "I'm fine. How could a bunch of trash hurt me?" The young man looked arrogant and sneered disdainfully. The surrounding warriors were unusually angry. First, they were attacked for no reason, and now they were called trash. How could they not be angry? However, the other party's group was too big. They did not dare to fight back. However, the burly man from the Shinshin clan did not seem to have such concerns. His character was irritable to begin with. Moreover, he had just been attacked. Now that he was being humiliated, how could he endure it? "You're courting death. Who are you calling trash? Little bastard, believe it or not, I'll cut your head off and kick it like a ball." Although the burly man knew that the other party's identity was extraordinary, he could not hold it in anymore. "How dare you? You're courting death." Chapter 1254. You must be tired of living. Do you know who our young master is? How dare you speak so rudely? Kneel down and cut off your tongue. Then I can spare your life. If you offend us, your Shinshin clan will die a horrible death. On the golden lion, Duan Fei sneered. "Did you hear that? Hurry up and do as I say. Are you waiting for your clan to be destroyed?" "Humph, how arrogant. I don't think you can destroy my Shinshin clan." The burly man snorted coldly. A powerful aura erupted from his body. The pressure of an 8th heaven supremacy enveloped the surroundings. "Humph, you're only an 8th heaven supremacy. You're a peerless expert in the eyes of ordinary people, but you're nothing to us. I'll give you one last chance. Kneel down and accept your death. You're asking for death." The burly man from the Shinshin clan was furious. He had never been humiliated like that. Hence, he stomped his foot and charged forward like a wild beast. "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." Beside Duan Fei, an elder in gray robes exuded killing intent. However, Duan Fei waved his hand and stopped the elder in gray. "Elder, there's no need for you to do it. Let me do it. I haven't exercised for a long time. Today, I'll play with him." As soon as he finished speaking, Duan Fei's figure flashed and flew forward like a ghost. In an instant, he arrived in front of the burly man. The burly man from the Shinshin clan was overjoyed. He didn't expect Duan Fei to be so bold as to fight him alone. This time, he would let Duan Fei know how powerful he was. Raging waves. The burly man threw out a punch. The terrifying fist force surged out like a wave. The power contained in the punch was extremely strong. A 7th heaven supremacy would probably be blown apart immediately. However, Duan Fei sneered. His body became extremely strange. In an instant he dodged the fist shadows that filled the sky. At the same time, he stretched out his palm and slapped the burly man. Slap. A crisp slap sounded. Then, the burly man from the Shinshin clan trembled and retreated. The fist shadows that filled the sky instantly disappeared. The burly man also retreated in a sorry state. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. There was a clear handprint on half of his face. What? How is that possible? He dodged it. Seeing this scene, everyone around was stunned. Originally, they were very dissatisfied with Duan Fei's group because the other party's attitude was too arrogant and actually insulted all of them. However, none of them dared to make a move. Fortunately, the big man from the Shinshin clan had made a move. Everyone was overjoyed, thinking that the burly man would be able to teach the other party a lesson. However, he had never imagined that the arrogant young man would be so powerful. With just one move, he had forced the big man from the Shinshing clan to retreat. Impossible! How could you break my fist technique? The muscular man from the Shinshing sect also had a look of disbelief on his face. A moment later, he gritted his teeth and charged forward again. However, Duan Fei only sneered in disdain. His body disappeared like a ghost, and the crisp sound of a slap rang out once again. The burly man was sent flying again, and a bright red palm print appeared on the left side of his face. I already told you that you're trash, but you didn't believe me. Duan Fei said disdainfully, today, I'll properly teach you how trash should speak. After saying that, his figure flashed again and he quickly flew forward. Not good. Seeing Duan Fei's actions, the burly man from the Shinshing sect's expression changed drastically. In the next moment, he roared, Fleet-foot stride. Now, he did not dare to fight against Duan Fei, because Duan Fei's strength far surpassed his. Therefore, he immediately used the fleet-foot stride. Although the burly man had a huge body and was as steady as a mountain, when he used the fleet-foot stride, his speed was extremely fast. Most people present could not even see his trajectory clearly. However, Duan Fei sneered, competing with me in speed? You're really looking for death. He sneered. Then, his expression became even more blurry, and the palm in his hand slapped down wildly. Slap, slap. A series of slaps rang out. The burly man kept retreating until he finally crashed into a wall. His entire face was completely swollen, like a pig's head. Elder! The disciples of the Shinshing sect were so frightened that their expressions changed drastically. They screamed crazily, and the burly man was so angry that he went crazy. Disgrace. This was an absolute disgrace. Duan Fei was stronger than him. He could have won in one move, but Duan Fei did not do so. Instead, he kept slapping him. Not only was he slapping his face, but he was also slapping the Shinshing sect's face. The surrounding people were also extremely shocked. They did not dare to speak. There was nothing they could do. Even an 8th heaven venerable was slapped repeatedly. They were no match for Duan Fei. How dare you insult the Shinshing sect? I'll kill you. The disciples who were tracking Duan Fei's movements finally could not hold it in anymore. They charged forward as if they had gone crazy. Stop. Come here. The burly man roared crazily. He knew how powerful Duan Fei was. His disciples were no match for Duan Fei. If they charged forward now, they would undoubtedly die for nothing. However, the disciples did not stop at all as if they had gone crazy. A bunch of ants dare to behave atrociously in front of me. Duan Fei was very disdainful. He raised his finger, and several cold rays of light flew out like lightning. No! Seeing this, the burly man let out a cry of despair. The cold rays of light were so powerful that no one below the 8th heaven venerable realm could withstand them. The cold rays of light were like ice blades, emitting a shocking murderous aura. As soon as the aura was released, everyone was shocked. Even the crazy disciples trembled and regained their senses. When they saw the cold rays of light flying towards them, their faces were filled with despair. However, they could not dodge them at all. Just as the disciples were about to die, the void trembled. An invisible hand seemed to form in the air and instantly slapped the cold rays of light away. What? He's not dead. Someone attacked him. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. The burly man from the Shinshing sect also heaved a sigh of relief. However, Duan Fei's face darkened. Someone actually dared to attack him in front of him. He must have a death wish. In the next moment, his eyes were like lightning as he stared at Lin Xian. You're courting death. How dare you attack me in front of me? Break your arms and I can spare your life. Otherwise, you and the people around you will all die. Hearing this, the martial artists around Lin Xian were terrified. Their eyes were filled with fear. However, Lin Xian did not care about him at all. Instead, he turned around and looked at the disciples from the Shinshing sect. Are you all okay? Thank you for saving us. We're fine. The disciples looked at Lin Xian with gratitude. The burly man kept thanking him. Thank you, young master. Thank you. Seeing that Lin Xian ignored him, Duan Fei's face became extremely gloomy. He looked at the people from the Shenxing sect and then revealed a sinister smile. Don't think that you can avoid this just because someone saved you. I'm not happy today, so all of you must die. Humph, I admit that you're powerful. However, the Shenxing sect is not to be trifled with. If we really fight, I guarantee that you won't be able to gain any advantage. How dare you threaten us? Chapter 12:55. How dare you threaten us? The guards beside Duan Fei sneered. Let me tell you, we are from the Palace of Ares, and our young master is the 5th young master of the Palace of Ares. Do you think that with our status, we would be afraid of the Shenxing sect? What a joke! What? The Palace of Ares? They are from the Palace of Ares. The surrounding crowd was shocked, but the warriors from the Shenxing sect were in despair. The Shenxing sect was indeed a powerful 6th-grade sect and did not fear other factions, but they had no hope against the Palace of Ares. The Palace of Ares was a sovereign family, an existence above any other faction. No one expected that the arrogant young man before them was from the Palace of Ares. Since when did the Palace of Ares have such scum? Why didn't I know? At that moment, Lin Xian spoke. Scum like you shouldn't tarnish the reputation of the Palace of Ares. We don't have trash like you. What did you say? Say it again. Duan Fei was enraged. I'm not from the Palace of Ares? Ha! I'm dying of laughter. The surrounding guards sneered. They looked at Lin Xian as if they were looking at a dead man. Kid, I think your head was kicked by a donkey. How dare you say that we're not from the Palace of Ares? What a joke. Open your dog eyes and see what this is. A few of the guards retracted the light on their bodies, revealing black armor. On the armor, there was a blade and a sword that crossed each other. It was the totem of the Palace of Ares. That's the symbol of the Palace of Ares. They really are from the Palace of Ares. Originally, the crowd was still doubtful when they heard Lin Xian's words. However, when they saw the symbol on Duan Fei and the others, their faces were filled with despair. No one dared to impersonate the symbol of the Palace of Ares. However, the 9th elder snorted. How dare you talk back to the young master? Slap them. Young master? The guards beside Duan Fei sneered. However, before they could finish their words, they were sent flying by a huge palm of light. The people who had spoken rudely were all sent flying. Their faces were swollen like a pig's head, and all their teeth fell out. How dare you hit us? You dare to attack the palace of gods of war. The group of people crawled up from the ground, looking extremely ferocious. In front of the young master, you have no right to call yourselves members of the palace of gods of war. The 9th elder's voice was cold with a strong killing intent. Young master? Duan Fei was taken aback. Then, as if he had recalled something, he let out a cold laugh. So it's you. You still dare to show up? You're courting death. Duan Fei sneered. He now knew Lin Xian's identity. Originally, we were still thinking about how to find you, but we didn't expect you to come out on your own, and even come here to die. The heavens are helping me. 5th young master, are you saying that this brat is that person? The guards around Duan Fei were also shocked. Let me kill him to prevent future troubles. Many people revealed murderous looks. There's no need for that. I'll do it myself. Duan Fei grinned savagely. Of course I have to kill such a good prey myself. After saying that, he stood out again and stared at Lin Xian. In the next instant, his entire person became blurry and turned into a ray of light. The palm in his hand was raised high and slapped toward Lin Xian. It looked like he wanted to repeat his previous action and slap Lin Xian a few times. When the surrounding cultivators saw this scene, they all shook their heads and sighed. In their opinion, Lin Xian was going to be unlucky. One had to know that Duan Fei was someone who could even oppress an 8th-level supremacy, let alone Lin Xian, a 7th-level supremacy. But this time they were wrong. Lin Xian looked at Duan Fei, who was flying toward him, and stood still like a mountain. Therefore, only the Duan family and Lin Xian were in the array. Brat, you are too arrogant. Although you had the upper hand just now, it doesn't mean that you can kill us. The gray-robed elder roared. You will know if I can or can't. Lin Xian's voice was cold. He had no intention of letting these people go. Elder, what should we do? The Duan family warriors asked. This array is indeed strange. If we forcefully break it, it won't be completed in a short period of time. Therefore, what we need to do now is to fight with the other party. The Shen family probably knows about the commotion here. Don't worry. As long as we wait for the Shen family to arrive, we will be safe. Don't forget that the Shen family is our Duan family's friend. Yes, this is the Shen family's territory. That brat won't dare to do anything. Hearing the gray-robed elder's words, the Duan family warriors were relieved. Then, they looked at Lin Xian with ferocious expressions. I don't believe that no matter how strong this brat is, he can resist all of us. Why don't we take this opportunity to kill him? All right. The gray-robed elder nodded. He also decided to give it a try. Everyone listen to my order. When the 15 Duan family warriors heard the order, they immediately drew their swords and sabers and unleashed a powerful aura. They quickly charged towards Lin Xian. Young master. Seeing the warriors charging over, the 9th elder shouted softly. However, Lin Xian shook his head slightly. There was no need. He would do it himself. Hearing this, the 9th elder and the 9th elder nodded and retreated to the back. If they were still worried about Lin Xian before, they were not worried at all after the battle just now. This was because they now knew that Lin Xian was extremely powerful. No one in the 8th heaven of the honorable realm could hurt him. Seeing that Lin Xian was attacking alone, the 15 Duan family warriors immediately revealed a sinister smile. They were not ordinary warriors. They were all above the 7th heaven of the honorable realm. Many of them had even reached the peak of the 7th heaven. Although their strength was not comparable to an 8th heaven of the honorable realm, they were a team and could unleash powerful array techniques. It could be said that they were the elites of the Duan family. The 15 of them kept changing their positions in the air and formed a strange array. They quickly charged towards Lin Xian. At the same time, the sabers and swords in their hands erupted with dazzling light as they slashed out quickly. The 15 rays of light were extremely bright like rainbows. With the support of the array, their power was even more terrifying. Even an 8th heaven of the honorable realm would not dare to take it head-on. Not only that, the golden lion and the gray-robed elder did not hold back either. Instead, they quickly unleashed 2 terrifying attacks. Chapter 1257. Lin Xian's body was surrounded by a boundless sea of blood. Upon closer inspection, one would realize that the sea of blood was made up of streaks of blood-colored sword qi. Not only that, but there were also countless black flames in the sea of blood. They danced and emitted a terrifying heat. Even those martial artists outside the array formation felt a temperature that made them tremble. Kill! With a roar, Lin Xian waved his arm. The Lone Star sword in his hand emitted a dazzling sword radiance as he slashed forward. The sea of blood surged. The sword radiance was like a blood-colored dragon as it roared in all directions. In an instant, the attacks flying towards Lin Xian from all directions were quickly melted by the sea of blood and black flames. Not only that, everything in the path of the sword qi began to burn. Whether it was the 15 terrifying attacks, the gray-robed elder's sword qi, or the golden lion's shadow, all of them were burning. It was a shocking scene. Although no one could hear it, they could imagine it. Not only that, but there were also countless screams. Among them, 7 warriors were swept by the blood-colored sword and immediately burned. They only had time to scream once before they were burned to ashes. Not only them, but even the armor on their bodies was burned to ashes, leaving no trace of it behind. It was as if they had never appeared. Lin Xian's black hair fluttered. The sword radiance in his hand flickered, and the sea of blood and black flames surrounded him. At this moment, his aura was fierce and murderous. He was like a peerless god of death with a terrifying killing intent that could crush everything. It was as if everything in the world had to bow down to him under this aura. What? He broke the Duan family's elite formation in an instant. And he killed half of them. How is this possible? The remaining warriors of the Duan family were horrified. Their eyes were filled with shock. Even the gray-robed elder's pupils constricted. The golden lion let out an uneasy roar. He's not human. He's a demon. But someone screamed. Finally, the remaining warriors were scared. They turned and ran, not daring to fight anymore. They had long lost their previous arrogance. At this moment, they were like stray dogs, trying to escape. There was nothing they could do about it. Lin Xian's attack was too terrifying, directly destroying all their confidence. Not to mention those people from the Duan clan, even more than half of the martial artists outside were paralyzed on the ground at this moment, breaking out in cold sweat. Trying to run? Lin Xian's eyes flickered as boundless black flames strangely gushed out. In the next moment, the 8 fleeing figures froze on the spot. They found that their bodies were completely frozen and did not listen to their commands. Not only that, a terrifying and boundless feeling of panic rose from the bottom of their hearts. Bush, bush, bush. In the next moment, their bodies suddenly burst into flames. Balls of black flames burned fiercely, blooming with hellish light. Not only their bodies, but even their armors and defenses were set ablaze, emitting cracking sounds. In the end, the 8 of them screamed miserably. Nothing was left behind, only a ball of flames rolling on the ground. In an instant, all 15 martial artists were annihilated. What? Impossible? How is this possible? The gray-robed elder's face turned ugly. Then he looked at the golden lion. Don't hide your strength anymore, hurry up and kill him. What? The golden lion roared furiously and raised its huge head. Then, it quickly charged towards Lin Xian. It was like a small golden mountain. As it moved quickly, the entire ground buzzed and trembled. Not only that, with every step it took, the golden lion's aura became stronger. In the end, the golden aura that filled the sky dyed the entire sky golden yellow. Meanwhile, the golden lion's aura had also reached its peak. No way, how could his spiritual energy be so strong? Everyone was shocked and couldn't believe it. This was because they knew that it required an extremely large amount of spiritual energy to condense something like Qiong-Qi. Perhaps even an 8th heaven supremacy could only condense one. However, now, a 7th heaven supremacy youth actually had the energy to condense something else. This was simply too shocking. Chapter 1258. The gray-robed elder's expression changed as his heart skipped a beat. Oh no, we can't let him succeed. It was already difficult for the golden lion to fight against a Qiong-Qi. If the other party used another skill, the golden lion would not be able to block it. At that time, he would be in danger. The gray-robed elder did not hesitate. He took out a half-earth rank artifact from his storage ring. Then, he turned into a gray light and quickly stabbed at Lin Xian. The sword was silent and there was a dazzling light around it. If one did not pay attention, they would not have noticed it. In the sky, a huge shadow appeared. It was a giant golden bird. Its huge body covered the entire sky. Sky Rock, it's the ancient beast Sky Rock. Everyone was shocked. Although they knew that it was only condensed by spiritual power, they were still shocked by the aura. It was too realistic. If one did not know the inside story, they would have thought that the ancient beast Sky Rock had been resurrected. In fact, this was normal. The 9 changes of the firmament was an earth-rank martial art. Its power was unpredictable. Moreover, Lin Xian still had the great dragon sword soul that could simulate everything. Therefore, the ferocious beasts were no different from real beasts except that they were not alive. The moment the Sky Rock appeared, it displayed a terrifying aura. Then, its sharp claws grabbed at the void and locked onto the gray-robed elder. In the next moment, a huge force rushed toward the gray-robed elder and sent him flying. The half-earth rank artifact was broken in half. The gray-robed elder's body was sent flying and smashed into the ground, forming a terrifying human-shaped crater. The terrifying sound shook the sky. The momentum had alarmed the Shun family's martial artists. In fact, it was not only the Shun family's martial artists. The martial artists of the major forces in Blue Ice City were all alarmed. At this moment, Those people ran over to watch the show. However, no one made a move. The Shen family had also sent a few elders to rush over. These elders were furious. They did not expect that someone would dare to make a move in Blue Ice City. This was obviously looking down on the Shen family. I want to see who dares to be presumptuous here. However, in the next moment, a huge figure suddenly appeared in front of them. Following that was a terrifying aura. What? The ancient beast Sky Rock. How is this possible? The three elders of the Shen family were extremely shocked. They looked at each other and saw the fear in each other's eyes. After that, the three of them sped up at the same time. The moment the giant Sky Rock appeared, it sent the gray-robed elder flying. Then, it stared coldly at the golden lion. Instantly, the golden lion's fur all stood up. He felt a great sense of threat. With a furious roar, it fiercely slammed into the Qiong-Qi, forcing it to retreat. However, Lin Xian did not give it a chance. Sky Rock transformation, golden sword. The seal on his palm changed as Lin Xian activated his killer move. Suddenly, the huge body of the heavenly Peng in the sky emitted a blazing light. Every feather on its body turned into a golden sword that pierced downwards. For a moment, the entire space was filled with golden swords. 108,000 swords were all stabbing towards the golden lion. The golden lion king was extremely furious, but he couldn't resist at all. Soon, he was pierced by countless golden swords and his huge body was nailed to the ground. Blood flowed, converging into a river, releasing a pungent bloody smell. What? The golden lion king is dead. Looking at this scene, everyone was shocked. Even the cultivators from the various major forces were extremely shocked. That was because the Golden Lion King was extremely brave. Even they were not confident of defeating him, but now he was slaughtered so easily. The gray-robed elder was also stunned. His eyes were filled with fear. Now, he finally understood that the young man in front of him was not someone they could provoke. However, at this moment, three powerful auras came from afar, accompanied by an angry roar. Who dares to cause trouble in Blue Ice City? Hearing this voice, the gray-robed elder was ecstatic. He shouted crazily, "Friends of the Shen family, save me!" The three powerful auras turned into three figures and stopped in the sky. They were a man, a woman, and an elder. The three of them were the elders sent by the Shen family. The three of them looked at the scene in front of them. Their pupils constricted and their faces were filled with shock. In particular, the huge corpse of the Golden Lion King shocked them. They naturally knew who had died. They were warriors sent by the Duan family, a force that was not weaker than them. However, at this moment, they were killed by someone. When they saw Duan Fei nailed to the ground, the three Shen family elders could not help but cry out. They did not expect that not only was the Golden Lion King dead, but the most important person, Duan Fei, was also dead. "The three of you, save me!" The gray-robed elder shouted crazily again. "Elder Duan, don't worry. We will ensure your safety." The three of them had always been on good terms with the Duan family, so at this moment, they naturally wanted to fight on the gray-robed elder's side. After saying that, the three of them quickly rushed over. Looking at the three figures, Lin Xian smiled. The battle just now had destroyed the formation he had set up, so there was no space enchantment around them. The three Shen family elders were naturally unimpeded and quickly came to the gray-robed elder's side. However, the smile on Lin Xian's face grew wider. He slowly raised his arm and pointed forward. Void-shattering finger. Suddenly, a purple light flew out like lightning and instantly streaked across space. "Oh no! You're courting death! How dare you!" The three of them roared and joined forces to stop him. The surrounding warriors were also shocked. They did not expect Lin Xian to dare to attack in front of the Shen family. However, it was all in vain. The void-shattering finger disappeared without a trace and was extremely mysterious. In an instant, it passed through the combined defense of the three and pierced through the gray-robed elder's glabella. A thumb-sized hole appeared in the gray-robed elder's glabella, and blood splattered everywhere. The light in his eyes gradually disappeared. Until his death, he still could not believe that Lin Xian could kill him under the protection of the three great experts of the Shen family. Plop. The gray-robed elder's corpse fell, sending a cloud of dust into the air. The surrounding crowd was stunned. For a moment, the scene was extremely silent and extremely strange. The three experts of the Shen family were also stunned. They did not expect Lin Xian to succeed. The young man in front of them was the son of the palace master of the Palace of War, Lin Zhan. His identity was even more honorable than Elder Chang Kong and the others. After knowing Lin Xian's identity, the three experts from the Chun clan immediately broke out in cold sweat. Putting aside the strength of this identity, just this identity alone was enough to kill them thousands of times. In an instant, the three of them were terrified and their bodies trembled slightly. The vast sky elder also bowed slightly. "Greetings, young Master Lin." "Elder Chang Kong, you're too polite." Lin Xian nodded slightly to return the greeting. If it was before, he would definitely respectfully address the other party as senior. However, it was different now. His identity had become the young master of the Palace of War. It could be said that other than a few people, no one had a more honorable identity than him. Therefore, even if he met the core elders of the Chun clan, he would only nod slightly. "I didn't know young Master Lin was here. Please forgive me if I didn't take care of you properly." Elder Chang Kong bowed slightly, then turned around and said to the three Chun clan warriors, "The three of you, come over and apologize to young Master Lin." "Young Master Lin, we have eyes but failed to recognize you. Please be magnanimous and forgive us this time." "It's fine." Lin Xian said indifferently, "My enemy is only the Duan clan. Everyone else can be my friends." Lin Xian's words undoubtedly expressed his stance. He would not rest until the Duan clan was dead. As for the other forces, as long as they allied with the Duan clan, they would be his enemy. Elder Chang Kong narrowed his eyes after hearing that. He did not expect the young man in front of him to be so fierce. It was really beyond his expectations. One should know that the situation at the Palace of War was not good. Palace Master Lin Zhan was in seclusion, causing the Duan clan to become stronger and stronger. They were already suppressing the Palace of War's main branch. However, the young man in front of him was still doing this. This meant that he definitely had some confidence that he did not know about. It seemed that he had to re-evaluate his attitude towards the Palace of War. Elder Chang Kong's thoughts turned. He decided to discuss this matter with the other upper echelons of the clan. Following that, Lin Xian and the others were welcomed into the Chun clan's residence under the invitation of the Chun clan's elders. Looking at Lin Xian's back view, everyone was filled with emotions. Originally, they thought that he would be in big trouble for offending the Duan clan. However, they did not expect his identity to be so shocking. Not only that, his strength was even more shocking. With a raise of his hand, he finished off the gray-robed elder, the golden lion, and other terrifying existences. This young man will probably become the next famous young giant in the Tianwu continent. That's right. How old is he? He's already so terrifying. I'm afraid that the Tianwu fourth young master was only like this back then. Everyone exclaimed. Chapter 1260. After bringing Lin Xian to the VIP room, Elder Chang Kong left. Lin Xian found a place and sat down. Beside him, Yu Fei was extremely excited. "Brother Xian, I'm not dreaming, right? Even the Shen family is so polite to us?" He was really confused because he had never thought that a sovereign family would be so polite to them. This was something that he would never have dared to dream of. Furthermore, what shocked him even more was that Lin Xian was the son of the palace master of the Palace of Gods of War. This was too shocking. "It's nothing. As long as you follow me, one day, I will lead you to surpass the entire Tianwu continent." Lin Xian had such confidence. There were many people in the VIP room, and they were all sizing up Lin Xian and the others. Those who could enter were at least from the top-rank 6 sects, and they might even be from the sovereign family. As for Lin Xian and the others, they had never seen them before, so they were very curious. However, when they saw the insignia on the 9th elder and the 10th elder's robes, their hearts trembled. A blade and a sword crossed each other. This was the robes of the palace of gods of war. At this moment, it appeared on the ninth elder. The meaning was self-evident. Needless to say, these two elders were definitely from the palace of gods of war. Looking at their strength and cultivation, they were also core elders in the palace of gods of war. As for the young man in front of them, needless to say, his identity was extremely honorable. Therefore, many sects and families came to strike up a conversation. Lin Xian was also swirling his wine. As he tasted it, he thought carefully about who among these people could become allies with the palace of gods of war. At this moment, a few more cultivators were invited into the VIP room. This time, the leader was not Elder Chang Kong, but a young man. This young man was very handsome and could even be said to be beautiful. His appearance made many women jealous. The young man invited the guests into the VIP room and was about to leave when he inadvertently glanced at Lin Xian. When he saw Lin Xian, he was momentarily stunned, and his beautiful eyes abruptly shrank. This expression was caught by Lin Xian and he frowned slightly. He couldn't understand why the youth had such a shocked expression. However, before he could think about it, the young man was already walking towards him. "You're Lin Xian?" The pretty boy asked tentatively. "I am." Lin Xian nodded. "And you are?" "My name is Shen Xiaqi. My father is Shen Lingquan." "Oh, so it's the young master of the Shen family. Why are you looking for me?" Lin Xian smiled as he looked at the young master in front of him. Come here for a moment. I have something to tell you in private." Hearing this, the surrounding cultivators revealed doubtful expressions, but Lin Xian nodded slightly. All right. He could somewhat guess the young man's intentions. "Ninth elder, I will go out with him for a while. Don't worry, there won't be any problems." After explaining, Lin Xian followed Shen Xiaqi out of the VIP room. Lin Xian followed behind the young man and shuttled through the Shen family mansion. They avoided many hidden sentries and arrived at the depths of the Shen family mansion. If it were an ordinary person, they would have been scared witless upon seeing such an abnormal situation. After all, this was the Shen family mansion. However, Lin Xian was skilled and bold. Moreover, he had guessed the young man's intentions, so he wasn't too worried. After bringing Lin Xian to a secret room, Shen Xiaqi couldn't wait to ask, "Do you know my sister?" "Your sister? Is she Jingqiu?" "Sure enough, you do know my sister." "That's right, you're Lin Xian." Shen Xiaqi was excited. "You look exactly like my sister. Big brother Lin, can you help me with something? What do you need my help with? Is it related to your sister?" "Yes. Can you help her escape?" "Escape?" Shen Xiaqi sighed. "My sister is really pitiful. First, something went wrong with her cultivation, and now she's being used as a tool for marriage. I know she's in despair. As her younger brother, I can't just sit by and watch. Escaping isn't the best way. Moreover, with the Shen family's strength, I'm afraid we won't be able to escape for long." Lin Xian shook his head. "How about this? Tell your sister to find me. I have a way to help her out of this predicament." "What? There's another way?" Shen Xiaqi was excited. Seeing Lin Xian nod, he said again, "Don't worry, I'll call my sister over." Not long after Shen Xiaqi ran out, he came back. Not only that, he also brought someone back this time. It was a person wrapped in darkness. Her body was covered in black sand, and even her face was covered with a thick veil. Only a pair of eyes were exposed. Those eyes were bright and twinkling like stars. They were very beautiful. When Lin Xian saw those eyes, he felt a strange sense of familiarity. He knew that the figure in front of him was the girl he met 3 years ago. But he didn't expect that reality would be so cruel. In 3 years, such a beautiful and intelligent girl had fallen to such a state. But fortunately, there was always a way out. He now had the spirit medicine to cure her. "You're Lin Xian?" The figure in front of him spoke faintly. Her voice had become hoarse and low, not at all like a young girl should have. She looked deeply at Lin Xian, then lowered her head. Her hands gripped her clothes uneasily, and her body trembled slightly. She was like an injured kitten, very timid. Looking at the pitiful person in front of him, Lin Xian felt a pang of pain in his heart. It's me. I've come to find you as promised. But hearing Lin Xian's words, Shen Jingqiu finally couldn't help but cry. She had suffered too much in the past 3 years. Now, in front of Lin Xian, she couldn't take it anymore. Lin Xian slowly walked in front of Shen Jingqiu and said gently, "Since I'm here, I won't let you suffer any more." "But I'm in this state." Shen Jingqiu lowered her head. Her tears wet the veil on her face. "Don't worry, I can cure you," Lin Xian said gently. "What?" Hearing this, Shen Jingqiu's body stiffened. Shen Xiaqi, on the other hand, exclaimed, "You can cure my sister? Really? Big brother Lin, is this true?" Shen Jingqiu couldn't believe it, because in the past 3 years, her family had thought of countless ways to cure her, but none of them could cure her. Because that wasn't an ordinary flame, but the purest power of the bloodline. Even a king couldn't suppress it. But now Lin Xian said that he could cure her. This was shocking. "Don't worry, I can definitely cure you." As Lin Xian spoke, he took out a palm-sized jade teapot and a jade cup from his storage ring. "Drink this and you'll get better. Trust me." "What? Drink this?" Shen Jingqiu's body trembled. "Big brother Lin, you're here?" Shen Xiaqi immediately ran over when he saw Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled at him before looking at Shen Lingchuan and his wife, Madame Shen from the Shen family. Lin Xian nodded slightly. "Young Lord Lin, please take a seat." Shen Lingchuan and his wife were very excited as they invited Lin Xian in. Shen Jingqiu's face was also red. "Big brother Lin Xian, you're here." Shen Lingchuan and his wife had already found out from their daughter that this young man in front of them had given their daughter a cup of spiritual tea. Thus, her injuries were all healed. When they heard this news, they were extremely shocked. Needless to say, that spiritual tea was definitely a rare treasure. An injury that even a king couldn't treat could be healed by a cup of spiritual tea. This was too shocking. Shen Lingchuan and his wife thought that Lin Xian had an ulterior motive for coming here. However, when they found out that their daughter and Lin Xian had known each other for 3 years, they immediately changed their minds. Thus, they couldn't wait to find Lin Xian. "Young Lord Lin, I heard from Chiu, that you gave her a cup of spiritual tea. May I know what kind of spiritual tea it is?" Shen Lingchuan was very curious. "You're being too polite. Chiu and I are good friends, so you should just call me Lin Xian. Young Lord or whatever sounds a little distant." "All right then, I'll call you Nephew Lin. You don't have to call me Patriarch Shen. How about Uncle Shen?" Shen Lingchuan smiled. "All right, Uncle Shen. I obtained this spiritual herb in the hidden sky secret realm. It's called the immortal tea. It can heal all injuries. If you consume it all year round, it has the effect of retaining your youthful appearance." "Just nice, I brought a pot today. Uncle Shen and Auntie Shen, please have a taste." With that, Lin Xian flipped his palm and took out the pot of immortal tea. He poured a cup for everyone. As soon as the spiritual tea was served, an extremely fragrant aura gushed out and filled the entire room. Even without drinking, just smelling it made one feel refreshed. Shen Lingchuan and his wife looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. One had to know that they held high positions and were extremely important figures in the Shen family. Thus, they had seen many treasures. However, they had never seen anything like the immortal tea. Thus, the two of them could not wait to take a sip. Soon, the two of them were shocked because they felt a mysterious energy circulating in their bodies. "Good stuff, it's really good stuff. No wonder it can cure Chiu's illness." Shen Lingchuan was very excited. "Nephew Lin, do you have any more of this spiritual herb? I would like to buy some." It was extremely precious to be able to cure an illness that even kings could not. Thus, Shen Lingchuan wanted to buy some from Lin Xian in case he needed it. "Don't worry, I won't mistreat you in terms of price." Chapter 1263. "Oh, what is it? Just say it." Shen Jingqiu added, "Big brother Lin Xian, if you have anything to say, just say it. Don't worry, My father will definitely help you. It's not a big deal. I just need Uncle Shen to spread the news about the immortal tea. You mean? Shen Lingchuan's eyes flashed. Soon, I will hold an auction in the Blood Realm. The immortal tea will be on the auction block. However, the effects of the immortal tea are too shocking. I'm afraid no one will believe me. Shen Lingchuan understood. It seemed that Lin Xian wanted the Shen family to help spread the news. Indeed, the effects of the immortal tea were too shocking. Normally, he wouldn't believe it either. However, after witnessing his daughter's incident, he knew that the tea was miraculous. Others didn't know. They wouldn't believe it either. Therefore, Lin Xian needed the Shen family's help. Don't worry, leave it to me. Shen Lingchuan chuckled. I wonder when the auction will be. I'd like to go and take a look. Lin Xian took out an invitation from his storage ring and handed it to Shen Lingchuan. Then I'll welcome you, Uncle Shen. After chatting for a while, Lin Xian stood up and prepared to leave. Brother Lin Xian, are you leaving? Shen Jingqiu's eyes were filled with reluctance. Shen Lingchuan and his wife sighed. After 3 years of suffering, Shen Jingqiu had become extremely introverted. Other than them, she probably wouldn't talk to anyone else. They couldn't go on like this. Shen Lingchuan's mother thought for a long time and felt that Lin Xian was reliable. Therefore, she said in a low voice, Young Master Lin, why don't you take Qiu with you? What? Lin Xian was stunned. Shen Jingqiu's eyes flashed with excitement. Qiu has just recovered from a serious illness. She has just regained her looks, but her confidence hasn't recovered yet. I think you should take her to see the outside world. It'll be better for her temperament. However, my current situation is very special. I'm afraid there will be a lot of dangers if you follow me. To be honest, Lin Xian also wanted to take Shen Jingqiu away, but he had other things to do now. Moreover, the Duan clan would not let him off. Lin Xian didn't want Shen Jingqiu to get caught up in such a fight. Brother Lin Xian, Qiu will protect herself well. Shen Jingqiu said pitifully. She was afraid that Lin Xian would not want her. Nephew Lin, don't worry. I don't think those people from the Duan family have the guts to harm my daughter. Lin Xian thought for a moment and then nodded. All right. Big brother Lin Xian, you agreed? That's great. Shen Jingqiu cheered. Then, Lin Xian left the main hall with Shen Jingqiu and walked towards the VIP room. When he saw Lin Xian bring back a girl as beautiful as a fairy, Yu Fei was stunned. The 9th elder and the other 2 were also shocked. Young master, this is? Oh, she's Shen Jingqiu, Shen Lingchuan's daughter. She's coming with us this time. Qiu greets the 2 grandpas. Shen Jingqiu said timidly. What? Shen Lingchuan's daughter, the little princess of the Shen family. The 9th elder and the other 2 were stunned. They didn't expect Lin Xian to go out for half a day and kidnap the little princess of the Shen family. It seemed that the 2 sides were very close. Brother Xian, my idol, I worship you. Yu Fei's face was full of tears. The 9th elder and the other 2 kept nodding. As expected of the young master, his methods are indeed powerful. Hearing this, Shen Jingqiu's face turned red and she seemed very nervous. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at the 9th elder and the other 2. Then, he turned to Shen Jingqiu and said softly, Don't worry about them, let's go. Under the night sky, a golden-feathered divine eagle quickly flew into the sky and disappeared into the horizon. The people sitting on it were Lin Xian, Shen Jingqiu and the others. Not long after they left, the news of the immortal tea spread quickly. Soon, all the major forces knew that there was such a miraculous spiritual tea in the world. Not only could it retain one's youth, it could even heal injuries that even kings couldn't. Because this time, Shen Lingchuan showed himself and Shen Jingqiu's transformation was obvious to everyone. So, although everyone was still a little skeptical about the immortal tea, most of them already believed it. So, everyone came to ask about the immortal tea. However, Shen Lingchuan shook his head and said that he didn't know anything. He only said that the immortal tea would be auctioned in 2 months at the Shuiyu Immortal Martial Auction. Everyone had some impression of the Immortal Martial Auction because the purple spiritual pill was auctioned there before. It was a spiritual medicine that could improve one's martial soul. It could be said that it was a sensation for a while. However, after that, the immortal martial auction didn't sell anything special. So, everyone gradually forgot about it. But they didn't expect that the immortal tea would be auctioned again. Instantly, all the major forces sent people to gather information quickly. Even Lin Xian and the others heard the news. So, Lin Xian sent the 10th elder back to the immortal martial auction to take care of the situation. The rest of the people followed Lin Xian to the Deity Sword Villa. The immortal martial auction was very busy now because there were people coming to ask about the immortal tea every day. Because Lin Xian had told them not to leak the news, Wang Li and the others only said that the immortal tea would be auctioned at the auction. This made the countless forces even more curious. Actually, people were like this. The more you didn't say, the more curious they would be. So, more and more people were curious about the immortal tea and planned to come take a look 2 months later. The Immortal Martial Academy was bustling, but the Duan clan was gloomy. During this period of time, the atmosphere in the Duan clan was very heavy. It was as if they would explode at any moment. First, the news of the Skynet organization's failure to assassinate Lin Xian came. Then they heard that Duan Fei and the others died in the Blue Ice City. This was undoubtedly a huge news. One had to know that Duan Fei was the 5th young master of the Duan clan. However, he was actually killed on the street. This was undoubtedly a provocation to the Duan clan. Young Master Ling Feng was furious when he found out. So, he quickly sent a large number of experts to the Blue Ice layer to kill Lin Xian. He also asked the Shun clan to cooperate. However, Lin Xian left in the middle of the night. They couldn't find him at all. The Shin clan's attitude also became very strange. It was as if they weren't willing to have too much contact with them. This made young Master Ling Feng abnormally furious. Trash, a bunch of trash. Young Master Ling Feng's face was gloomy. This was what Lin Xian was most worried about. Power of the bloodline? Let me look for it. Lin Xian started to flip through the pill formulas left behind by King Dan Yu and Wine Lord. After half an incense's time, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Found it. Heavenly Treasure Spirit Protection Pill, a type of pill that specifically targeted the power of the bloodline. With it, Shen Jingqiu would be extremely safe when she awakened the power of her bloodline. It would protect her from any backlash. However, this pill alone wasn't enough. Shen Jingqiu was very afraid of the power of her bloodline. If she didn't get rid of this fear, she wouldn't be able to awaken the power of her bloodline. It seemed like it wasn't easy to get rid of the inner demons in Shen Jingqiu's heart. At least, the pill alone wouldn't be able to cure it. It seemed like he had to use illusions to let her experience it and overcome it herself. This process wasn't simple and couldn't be carried out in the Deity Sword Mountain manner. Hence, he could only wait for the matter here to end and return to the Immortal Martial Academy. After finding a solution, things were much easier. Hence, Lin Xian started to chat with Shen Jingqiu. Brother Lin Xian, can you tell me about your experience? Qiu wants to know. All right. Lin Xian rubbed Shen Jingqiu's head. Then, he said gently, then I'll start from when I left the Xia country. Hence, in the following days, Lin Xian started to talk about his experience. His experience could be said to be full of twists and turns. It was very shocking. Not to mention Shen Jingqiu, even the 9th elder was shocked when he heard it. This was because he didn't expect someone to be able to go through so many dangers and come out unscathed. Lin Xian was probably the only one capable of such a feat in such a dangerous story. Lin Xian and the rest passed through the boring flight and finally arrived at the Deity Sword Mountain Manor. After knowing that the young master of the Ares Palace was coming, the Deity Sword Mountain Manor sent out the highest standards to welcome him. However, when they saw who it was, many disciples and even the elders were stunned. Lin Xian, why are you here? Many of them had been to the remote sky secret realm before. Hence, they recognized Lin Xian. When they saw Lin Xian, they were all stunned. Could it be that you are the young master of the Ares Palace? After hearing this news, everyone gasped. Initially, they thought that Lin Xian was just an ordinary disciple of the Immortal Martial Academy. However, they didn't expect him to be the young master of the Ares Palace. This change in status was worlds apart. Luckily, they didn't go against him back then. This was what everyone in the Deity Sword Mountain Manor thought. At the same time, they heaved a sigh of relief. "Young Master Lin, please come in." A group of elders respectfully welcomed Lin Xian and the others in, and provided them with the best pavilions and palaces. At this moment, when they saw Lin Xian walking over, they immediately stood up. The big man among them even said respectfully, "Young Master Lin, you're here. Have a seat. Don't be so polite." Lin Xian waved his hand and then sat on the main seat. Then he ordered Yu Fei, serve the three of them spiritual tea. Not long after, four beautiful maids quickly walked in from outside. Each of them held a cup of top-grade tea in their hands. Although the spiritual tea was not as good as the immortal tea in Lin Xian's hands, it was already very good in the outside world. Lin Xian picked up the teacup and took a sip. Then he asked calmly, "Why have the three of you called me here? Don't tell me you're just here to thank me." "Young Master Lin, let me introduce you." The big man from the Xinxing sect stood up and pointed at the two people beside him. He said, "These are my two senior brothers. The three of us are from the Xinxing 13 Guardians. I'm the 9th brother. This is my 7th and 5th brother. Young Master, you can call us Xin Jiu, Xin Wu, and Xin Qi. The three of us are here to discuss something with you." "Oh, what is it?" "The Duan family has gone too far. We also know about the situation of the Palace of Gods of War. So, we're willing to join your side and become your ally." "Oh, you're willing to ally with me?" Lin Xian's eyes lit up. If that was really the case, it would be great. "Don't worry. As friends of the Palace of Gods of War, Lin Xian will not mistreat you." "Thank you, young Master Lin." After hearing that, the three of them thanked him in advance. Young Master, there's one more thing," the three big men said hesitantly. "What is it?" Seeing that the three of them were a little embarrassed, Lin Xian asked with a smile. Shen Jiu scratched his head. "It's like this. We also know about the immortal tea. Also, we know that the auction is under your name. I wonder if young Master can give the three of us an invitation. Otherwise, we won't even be able to get in." Indeed, although the Xinxing sect was a 6th-rank sect, the effect of the immortal tea was too shocking. If too many people went and they couldn't get their hands on it, or if the auction was booked by a king family, they would have no chance at the immortal tea. "That's easy. Yu Fei, give the three of them an invitation." Immediately, Yu Fei walked down the stage and took out a golden invitation from his storage ring. "Thank you, young Master." The three of them took the invitation and beamed with joy. Next, the three of them chatted with Lin Xian about some cooperation. Then they left. Not long after Xin Jiu and the other two left, Elder Jiu came. As soon as he came in, he asked, "Young Master, has the Xinxing sect joined the alliance?" "Yes, indeed." Lin Xian nodded. "That's great. The Xinxing sect used to be neutral and didn't help anyone. I didn't expect them to stand on our side this time. It's nothing." Speaking of which, the Duan family is too arrogant. They really think they're invincible and don't care about anyone. Just wait and see. They'll be in trouble. Lin Xian sneered. Indeed, they were getting stronger and stronger. As for the King family, although the Murong family and the Shen family didn't fully support them, they had Murong Qingqing and Shen Lingxuan. At least, they would support him. Also, the Celestial Martial Arts Academy was his solid backing. Moreover, there was the addition of a 6th-rank sect, the Xinxing sect. It wouldn't be long before the Deity Sword Villa also stood on their side. Moreover, this was just the beginning. Lin Xian believed that when Old Time Tea and the Longevity Pill were released, the other families and forces who were watching would definitely rush over. Therefore, as long as Xia Zhuangzhu was on their side, the entire Deity Sword Villa would fight with the Duan family. With the support of Deity Sword Villa, the Duan family's power would be even stronger. Thinking of this, Duan Li sneered proudly. However, his laughter soon stopped. his face became extremely gloomy because he saw a figure. Lin Xian. He had not expected him to finally come out. The few young sky prides beside him also turned their heads to look. Among them, Wei Wufeng's eyes were shining with a shocking light. Chapter 1267. The old man behind him should be the elder of the Palace of Gods of War. He's actually a ninth heaven supremacy. No wonder that brat is so arrogant. He has a ninth heaven supremacy protecting him. Everyone sneered. It seemed like the incident in Blue Eye City was just a legend. The one who did it must be the ninth heaven supremacy. Duan Li's expression darkened. He was just a piece of trash. How could he deserve the title of young master of the Palace of Gods of War? The Palace of Gods of War belonged to the Duan clan. Lin Xian naturally sensed the hostility from the crowd and frowned slightly at once. Brother Xian, it's those people from the Duan clan again. They even joined forces with many rank 6 sects. One of them is the young master of the Shen clan. Yu Fei said. Shen clan? Seeing Lin Xian's confusion, Yu Fei explained, the Shen clan is very powerful. It's not just Shen Lingquan's bloodline. It's normal for other Shen clan cultivators to work with the Duan clan. Lin Xian nodded. He wasn't surprised. Wasn't the Palace of Gods of War also divided into 2 factions? The bigger the clan, the more intense the internal conflict. The Shen clan was no exception. It was just that the Shen clan had a king realm cultivator to suppress them. It's the Shen clan again. Lin Xian furrowed his brows and said coldly, ignoring them. Yu Fei followed behind Lin Xian and stopped paying attention. The ninth elder also snorted. However, the Duan clan didn't plan to let Lin Xian go. A group of people walked over. Soon, Duan Li, Wei Wufeng, and the others blocked the path. Get lost. A good dog doesn't block the way. Lin Xian said coldly. He didn't want to fight with them at the Deity Sword Villa's birthday banquet. However, Duan Li and the others were extremely arrogant and didn't move aside. At this moment, the young master of the Shen clan, Shen He, stared at Shen Jingqiu and said, Hey, isn't this Sister Jingqiu? Why you here? Why didn't you greet me when you saw me? Shen Jingqiu hadn't interacted with outsiders for 3 years, so she didn't know how to answer. However, Shen He continued, Oh right, I heard that you recently took in a servant called Lin Xian or something. Is he here yet? Hearing this, the hearts of the surrounding people pounded wildly. Many of them even retreated quickly. Who was Lin Xian? That was the young master of the Palace of Ares. He was a young prodigy who had recently been in the limelight. However, at this moment he was being called a servant. This was definitely looking for trouble. However, Shen He was indeed qualified because he was also a disciple of a king clan. Therefore, they didn't dare to say anything about the battle between the young masters of 2 king clans. She only hoped that the fish in the moat would not be implicated. When the people behind Shen He heard this, they laughed maniacally. They were here to see Lin Xian make a fool of himself. Lin Xian's face darkened. Beside him, Yu Fei and the ninth elder were also furious. This was especially true for the ninth elder, who was emitting an extremely powerful aura. No one could insult Lin Xian, even if the other party was from the Shen family. On the opposite side, Shen He's cousin, Shen Yuan, also sneered. That's right, Sister Jingqiu. Where is that servant, Lin Xian? Why don't you bring him out for us to meet? Nonsense, Brother Lin Xian is not a servant. He's my friend. Shen Jingqiu finally couldn't hold it in any longer. Her body trembled as she shouted with all her might. However, this delicate voice was mercilessly drowned out by the maniacal laughter of the crowd. In the end, the little girl was so anxious that she was about to cry. Ninth elder, break their legs and throw them out. Lin Xian's face darkened as he gave the order. The ninth elder stood out and was about to make a move. However, a few guardian elders from the Shen family also came out and confronted the ninth elder. Chapter 1268. The few elders of the Shen family were also shocked. Their figures flashed and they wanted to attack. However, the ninth elder was like an ancient mountain, standing in front of them. Who was the one who said that we should let the younger generations solve their own problems? Why, you can't take it anymore. The ninth elder sneered. He was not worried about this from the beginning because he knew that Lin Xian's strength was definitely beyond everyone's imagination. As expected, the two brothers from the Shun family were in big trouble. Kid, how dare you hurt me? You're dead. I'm going to tear you into pieces. If you offend us, you won't be able to live on this continent. Shen He and Xin Yuan roared ferociously. You're still so stubborn even when you're about to die. Lin Xian snorted. Who are you calling a servant? Kneel down. Lin Xian stretched out his palms, forming two terrifying palms that grabbed at Xin He and Xin Yuan. In the next moment, the terrifying force caused the two of them to kneel on the ground. Bang, bang, bang. Lin Xian waved his arms, controlling the huge palms of light, causing the two brothers to kneel on the ground and kowtow continuously. Every kowtow was extremely forceful, creating a deep pit in the ground. Terrifying cracks spread under everyone's feet. Looking at this scene, everyone was stunned. Although they had heard of Lin Xian's strength, they had never seen it before. Now, they finally saw it with their own eyes. Not only was he powerful, he was simply too powerful. Moreover, he was extremely arrogant, causing the two young masters of the Shun family to kneel and kowtow. Perhaps only Lin Xian would dare to do such a thing. The two young masters of the Shun family were pressed to the ground and kowtowed, making banging sounds. Soon, the two of them were bleeding from their heads, and the ground was destroyed beyond recognition. However, Lin Xian still had no intention of stopping. Kid, you're courting death. The elders of the Shun family finally could not take it anymore. Even with the ninth elder stopping them, they charged at Lin Xian crazily. With the help of the elders from the Duan family and other sixth-rank sects, two elders from the Shun family finally broke through the ninth elder's line of defense and rushed towards Lin Xian. Little thief, how dare you insult my Shun clan? The two of them were like wolves and tigers. Their expressions were abnormally ferocious. Terrifying auras swept out in all directions like two peerless ferocious beasts. Lin Xian coldly snorted, "You too, kneel down as well." After he finished speaking, two large hands appeared in front of him. Like coiling dragons, they viciously grabbed forward. In the next moment, two powerful 8th-level venerables, the elders of the Shun family, appeared. Like a weak little lamb, it was caught by two big hands, unable to resist at all. Plop, bam bam bam. The two Shun family elders were pressed to the ground by Lin Xian and quickly kowtowed. The scene was too spectacular. Two young masters of the Shun family and two elders of the Shun family lined up in a row, kneeling on the ground and kowtowing nonstop. Fresh blood dyed the ground red, and the entire ground was smashed with countless cracks. The four of them were so angry that their lungs were about to explode, but they were unable to shake off the four large light palms above their heads. Everyone in the surroundings gasped and looked at Lin Xian in horror. Horrifying, too horrifying. Even the young masters and elders of the sovereign family were not spared. This Lin Xian was simply unscrupulous and arrogant to the extreme. It seemed that unless there was no other choice, they absolutely could not become enemies with him. This was what almost everyone thought. Even the chief disciples of the sixth-rank sects beside Duan Li were horrified. Duan Li's face was even more gloomy, but he was ecstatic. Lin Xian's actions were even more serious than killing those people from the Shun family. This was completely humiliating them and slapping the Shun family's face. From this moment on, Shen He's line would completely fall out with Lin Xian. This was undoubtedly a great thing for their Duan family. Not only that, but he also wanted to add fuel to the fire and continue to blow things up. Therefore, he quickly stood out and reprimanded Lin Xian loudly. They were the young masters and elders of the Shun family, and you actually dared to humiliate them like this. Do you want to start a war with the Shun family? At this moment, the four people kneeling on the ground gritted their teeth and roared, "Kill us if you can, or you're dead meat. I'll return today's grudge 100-fold in the future. Brat, I won't let you off." The four of them seemed to have gone crazy, as if they would not rest until one of them was dead. Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes darkened, and a hint of killing intent appeared in his eyes. Lin Xian cultivated the blood sword legacy, so the killing intent on his body was much stronger than ordinary people. Therefore, when the killing intent appeared, the temperature of the entire space dropped rapidly. Everyone trembled, and their eyes were filled with fear. The 4 people kneeling on the ground were even more shocked. They did not doubt that if they dared to be presumptuous again, Lin Xian would really kill them. At this moment, a furious roar was heard. Then, a dignified middle-aged man walked over quickly with the disciples of the Deity Sword Villa. When he saw the scene before him, his eyelids twitched violently. However, he calmed himself down and said coldly, "Today is a joyous day for the Deity Sword Villa. Don't you think you've gone overboard by fighting here? Protector Ding, you've come at the right time. This brat is too despicable to fight in the Deity Sword Villa. I think we should capture the troublemakers and throw them all out," Duanli said sinisterly. The 4 people kneeling on the ground screamed crazily, "Protector Ding, save us!" Protector Ding looked at the 4 people on the ground, took a deep breath, and looked at Lin Xian. "Young Master Lin, let's stop and let them go. No matter what, I'm the young master of the Palace of Ares, and I represent the Palace of Ares. However, these 4 people dared to insult me. They're not just insulting me, they're insulting the entire Palace of Ares. How can I let them go so easily? Or do you think that the Palace of Ares is a pushover?" Lin Xian looked at Protector Ding and did not back down. As soon as he came up, he could tell that Protector Ding was exchanging glances with Duanli and the rest. He must have been bribed. The Deity Sword Villa is not a place where you can behave atrociously, even if you're the young master of the Palace of Ares. I'll give you one last chance. Let them go. Otherwise, don't blame the Deity Sword Villa for being impolite. Protector Ding's face darkened and a dangerous aura surged from his body. It seemed that if Lin Xian continued to oppose him, he would really take action. Seeing Lin Xian's tough attitude, the surrounding people's eyelids twitched violently. Lin Xian was too arrogant. He even dared to go against the Deity Sword Villa. One should know that this was the lair of the Deity Sword Villa. There were countless sword experts. Even if Lin Xian was the young master of the Palace of Ares, he would not be at an advantage if they were to fight. When Duanli saw this, he smiled sinisterly. It seemed that Lin Xian was more impulsive than he had imagined. He dared to openly defy the Deity Sword Villa. This was the best outcome for him. It would be best if both parties could fight and he could reap the benefits. Chapter 1269. Lin Xian, stop it now. You're too arrogant. You're not protecting the Palace of Ares' reputation, you're embarrassing it. I think you're not fit to be the young master of the Palace of Ares. Get lost if you know what's good for you. Otherwise, you'll be thrown out by the Deity Sword Manor. Lin Xian's eyes turned cold when he heard the voice. Duanli had been jumping up and down to provoke him previously. Now, he still dared to stir up trouble. Did he really think he was so easy to bully? With a cold snort, Lin Xian's lightning martial soul rushed out of his body and charged forward. The lightning martial soul was purplish-white and extremely mysterious. It had an unusually violent power and was extremely fast. It arrived in front of Duanli in the blink of an eye. The lightning martial soul raised its hand and slapped Duanli's face. What? Duanli was scared silly. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. He couldn't believe that Lin Xian still had the strength to attack while suppressing 4/8 heaven supremacies. Suppressing 4/8 heaven supremacies wasn't an easy task. Probably only a 9th heaven supremacies could do it easily. However, Lin Xian did it with a 7th heaven supremacy's cultivation. This was shocking. However, everyone thought that Lin Xian must have used all of his strength to do this, and had no strength left at all. Who would have thought that Lin Xian would soon let them know what ignorance was? Facing Duanli's clamor, Lin Xian easily sent him flying. Duanli was also an 8th heaven supremacies. Moreover, he was extremely powerful. However, he couldn't even block a single move from Lin Xian. This meant that Lin Xian's strength was definitely beyond everyone's imagination. Controlling 4/8 heaven supremacies didn't take much effort at all. Young master, The Duan family elder reacted and immediately pounced on Duan Li. Half of his face was completely smashed and blood splattered everywhere. If Lin Xian hadn't held back, that palm strike would have even crushed his head. "You're courting death. How dare you injure my young master? I'll kill you." The few elders of the Duan clan also had crazed expressions as they glared fiercely at Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian did not care at all. He said coldly, "If you don't want to kneel in front of me like the four from the Shen family, I advise you not to make a move." Hearing Lin Xian's threat, the Duan clan's elder trembled with anger. However, no one dared to make a move because they couldn't see through Lin Xian's strength. If they acted rashly, they might have to kneel down and kowtow in front of everyone. That would be worse than death. Therefore, those Duan clan elders didn't dare to act rashly. Seeing that his words had scared off all the Duan clan's elders, the surrounding people were shocked. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed it even if they were beaten to death. Behind them, Protector Ding's expression was extremely ugly. He had brought people to warn Lin Xian to stop. But the other party didn't listen at all. Not only did they not release the Shun family, they even crippled Duan Lily in front of him. He didn't put him in his eyes at all. "Kid, I admit that you're very strong, but this is the Deity Sword Villa after all, so I advise you to stop. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." "Impolite? How can you be impolite?" Lin Xian sneered. "Can you represent the entire Deity Sword Villa to start a war with the Palace of Gods of War? Or do you think you can beat me?" Protector Ding was speechless and trembled with anger. He couldn't do either of the two things that Lin Xian said because he wasn't Zhuang Zhu at all, so he couldn't represent the entire Deity Sword Villa. Moreover, although he was stronger than Duan Li and the others, he was only in 8th level supremacy and hadn't broken through to the 9th level. Therefore, he really didn't have any confidence in fighting against Lin Xian. "Since you can't make the decision, don't embarrass yourself here. Go back and let someone who can make the decision come." Lin Xian was furious. Originally, he wanted to give a big gift to the sword supremacy of the Deity Sword Villa, but he didn't expect to be suppressed by the Deity Sword Villa before he even gave the gift. How could he be happy? Even if he wanted to cooperate with the Deity Sword Villa, he had to let the Deity Sword Villa know about his strength before that. "Young Master Lin, give me some face and stop now." Right at this moment, another aged voice resounded. Although this voice was old, it was surging with boundless energy. There was even the pressure of the 9th level. "Greetings, Great Elder." When Protector Ding and the others heard this voice, they immediately bowed to the void. Great Elder? Could it be the Great Elder of the Deity Sword Villa? Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect the Great Elder to be alarmed. Lin Xian also stopped what he was doing and stopped the four from the Shun family in front of him from kowtowing. His eyes flickered as he looked at the void and said loudly, "I'm here to celebrate Zhuang Zhu's birthday. I'm not here to cause trouble. It's just that some flies are too annoying. They keep jumping around in front of me. You can't blame me for this. It's our fault. We didn't treat you well. I hope young Master Lin can forgive us." Hearing this, Lin Xian nodded. "I can stop, but what I said before has to be effective." "What did you say?" Protector Ding asked subconsciously. "Break their legs and throw them out of the Deity Sword Villa." "What?" Hearing this, everyone's eyelids twitched. They didn't expect Lin Xian to refuse to let go even when the Great Elder of the Deity Sword Villa stepped in. The four from the Shun family who were kneeling on the ground had a drastic change in expression. Their eyes were filled with despair. If they were really thrown out today, they would become the laughingstock of the entire Tianwu continent tomorrow. In the void, the Great Elder didn't say anything. However, everyone could clearly feel that the atmosphere in the entire space was tense. The Great Elder must be angry too. Finally, the Great Elder's voice rang out, "Are you sure you want to do this?" "Of course, I always mean what I say," Lin Xian said proudly. Then, without waiting for the Great Elder's response, he attacked with lightning speed and quickly broke the legs of the four from the Shun family. Then, he kicked them into the sky one by one. The four of them screamed and turned into shooting stars, disappearing into the sky. Everyone's mind went blank. Their heads were about to explode. They didn't expect Lin Xian to really dare to do this. This was completely a slap to the Shun family's face. They were afraid that both sides would fight to the death. However, Lin Xian didn't care at all. He turned around and walked towards the back. Behind him, Wei Wufeng saw Lin Xian walking towards him. His body trembled. A look of fear appeared in his eyes and he subconsciously retreated to the side. Lin Xian didn't even look at him. Instead, he returned to Shen Jingqiu and led the few of them to the VIP seats. He sat down boldly. Wei Wufeng's face was extremely ugly. Previously, he was extremely arrogant and claimed that he wanted to kill Lin Xian with one slash. But now, it seemed that he didn't even have the courage to face Lin Xian. It was really sad. Chapter 1270. The Great Elder was stunned. He had not expected Lin Xian to be so ruthless. After a long while, he spoke again. Great, great, great. You are indeed a supreme talent in the limelight. I am impressed by young Master Lin's methods. Old man, don't be upset. Even if the Shen family is looking for trouble, they won't look for Deity Sword Villa. Moreover, I am here to give Deity Sword Villa a big gift. Lin Xian said casually to the void. Big gift? What gift? The Great Elder was not the only one who was confused. Everyone was confused. However, Lin Xian smiled mysteriously and said, What gift? You will find out later. Everyone was unhappy with the way Su Mo kept them in suspense. However, no one dared to say anything. The Duan family snorted coldly. Duan Li gritted his teeth as he stared at Lin Xian's back view. His body was trembling. Now, he had already consumed a spirit medicine, and half of his smashed face had recovered. However, he would never recover from the humiliation unless he killed Su Mo with his own hands. The Great Elder could not think of anything that Lin Xian could give. However, he said in the end, Deity Sword Villa will wait for young Master Lin's gift. Su Mo's attack was swift and violent. Previously, he was too proud and left the protection of the Duan family's elders. The Duan family's elders and the people from Deity Sword Villa did not expect Lin Xian to make a move. Therefore, they were not prepared. Slap. The violent lightning palm hit Duan Li's face and sent him flying. The palm hit was merciless. Half of Duan Li's face was smashed. His body spun 18 times in the air before he fell to the ground with a thud. Everyone was stunned. They could not believe what had happened. Soon, the people from Deity Sword Villa stepped forward and suppressed the matter. Although the matter had ended, everyone could not calm down for a long time. Lin Xian was too powerful. It was beyond everyone's expectations. Those who wanted to work with the Duan family in the future would have to discuss whether they were qualified to offend Lin Xian. Lin Xian didn't care about the comments of the crowd. He wanted to be domineering and let everyone know how powerful he was. Because only in this way could he ruthlessly strike down the Duan clan's arrogance. Otherwise, his side was incomparably weak, and he was afraid that no forces would be willing to cooperate with them. Moreover, the 4 people from the Shen clan that he had beaten up previously were not a big deal because he knew that those people were enemies of Shen Lingquan's bloodline. Even if he killed those people, his relationship with Shen Lingquan's bloodline would not change. It was precisely because he knew this that Lin Xian had acted so fiercely. Not long after, the Deity Sword Villa's banquet began. Xia Zhuangzhu was like a sword god as he went to the main seat. He had also heard about what had just happened, but there was no displeasure on his face at the moment. Good wine, good food, singing and dancing followed one after another. The atmosphere in the Deity Sword Villa was unusually lively. Everyone seemed to have forgotten what had just happened. However, the Duan clan was gnashing their teeth with ferocious expressions. Damn it! How dare he hit me? I won't let him off. Duan Li roared in a low voice. He swore that he would definitely kill the other party. Don't worry, young master. I've already made arrangements. Now, it's not just us. The Shen clan has also organized people. We'll definitely be able to kill him on the way back. Not to mention him, even the 9th elder beside him won't be able to escape this time. Let him be arrogant for a while more. When the time comes, I'll let him know how powerful I am. Hearing the elder's reply, Duan Li revealed a ferocious smile. This time, he would definitely kill the other party. However, before that, he still had one more thing to do, and that was to rope in the Deity Sword Villa. The Windcutter sword is indeed a good sword, not bad. Not bad. Even Zhuang Zhu nodded his head in satisfaction. Duan Li smiled proudly and placed the Windcutter sword aside. I think Xia Zhuang Zhu will be more interested in the second treasure. Oh, what is it? Xia Zhuang Zhu was also curious. Since Duan Li could take out such a precious treasure sword, it meant that he definitely had something good in his hands. The only thing that could make him more interested was probably related to the way of the sword. Everyone was guessing, and they were even more curious. Duan Li still had to take out a third treasure. To be able to be used as a treasure at the bottom of the chest, the third treasure should be even more extraordinary. Thinking of this, everyone's hearts burned with anticipation. Lin Xian also nodded. Indeed, the first two treasures were very tempting. It seemed that the third treasure was also extraordinary. As expected of the Duan clan, they actually had so many good things in their hands. This time, Duan Li took out a square box from his storage ring and slowly opened it. A golden pill was revealed inside. I think everyone should have heard of my Duan clan's supreme divine medicine, the undying golden pill. As long as you still have a breath left, no matter how serious your injuries are, you can immediately recover. What? It's that magical undying golden pill. Could the third treasure be the undying golden pill? Everyone was in an uproar. They had heard of the undying golden pill's effects, and many people had seen it with their own eyes. It was truly a rare divine medicine. However, only the Duan clan had this kind of divine pill, and only a few of the Duan clan's higher-ups had it. No one expected that such a precious pill would be given as a gift to the Deity Sword Villa. The elders of the Deity Sword Villa also had red eyes and their breathing quickened. The first two treasures were already very precious, but they did not expect the third one to be even more precious. With this pill in hand, it was undoubtedly an extra life. Therefore, they looked forward with burning eyes. Xia Zhuang Zhu was also shocked, and a burst of ecstasy surged from his heart. The Deity Sword Villa did not have such a divine pill. Then, he seemed to have thought of something and quickly asked, "Can this undying golden pill cure a dying person?" That depends on the situation. If it's a serious injury or dying, then it can definitely be cured. If it's a natural death, then there's nothing we can do. After all, life and death are reincarnations. This is the heavenly Tao, and it cannot be defied. Duan Li also knew about the sword venerable, so he could only answer truthfully. Hearing this, Xia Zhuang Zhu sighed slightly. Indeed, it could not cure the sword venerable. However, fate was not like this, and he could not go against it. Even if he was disappointed, there was nothing he could do. Moreover, the undying golden pill was already an exceptional divine pill. The three treasures floated in the void, and each of them was shocking. Now that the three of them were given to the Deity Sword Villa, it could be said to be a super big gift. Even if the Deity Sword Villa was a top-rank 6 sect, they could not help but be tempted. Seeing that Xia Zhuang Zhu had accepted the three treasures, Duan Li smiled with satisfaction. He knew that as long as Xia Zhuang Zhu accepted the gifts, the alliance would be finalized. He only needed to wait for the birthday banquet to end, and then he would talk to Duan Li privately. Thinking of this, he glanced at Lin Xian proudly, and his eyes were full of provocation. He sneered, "Aya, a small disciple of the Duan clan has given out 3 gifts. No one knew how to compare the remaining 2 treasures. Seeing Lin Xian's confident smile, they were very confused. At this time, Zhuang Zhu said with a smile, "I'll accept the invitation. I wonder what the auction will be?" Chapter 1273. Manor Master Xia chuckled and said, "I'll accept the invitation. What exactly are we going to buy at the auction?" He was indeed curious. An invitation was made of extremely precious metal, so the auction would not be simple. Not old-time tea, Lin Xian said calmly. What? Not old-time tea? Countless warriors exclaimed, their faces full of shock. In the past month, the legend of not old-time tea had spread throughout the Tianwu continent. Warriors everywhere were talking about this magical spiritual tea. It was a wound that even a king could not heal, but it was healed by a cup of spiritual tea. This was too shocking. Therefore, everyone was asking about not old-time tea, but they could not find any exact information. They only knew that this spiritual tea would be auctioned soon. However, he didn't expect to hear news about old-time tea from Lin Xian. I've heard of this spiritual tea. Its effect is amazing. It is worthy of an invitation made of starry blue gold. Xia Zhuangzhu asked someone to take the invitation and put it away carefully. Since it's young Master Lin's invitation, I'll definitely go personally. Not for anything else, but for not old-time tea. Xia Zhuangzhu wanted to go personally. Duan Li's face was gloomy. He did not expect Lin Xian to release such explosive news at this time. What kind of gift is this? It's just an auction qualification. It's not like you're giving not old-time tea to Xia Zhuangzhu. Lin Xian, you are too stingy. Indeed, Lin Xian only gave an auction qualification, not old-time tea, so everyone thought that it was not as good as Duan Li's gift. However, Lin Xian shook his head and said, Xia Zhuangzhu, please forgive me. This is not old-time tea. I don't have much of it, so I can only auction it. But I can briefly explain the effects of not old-time tea. First of all, long-term consumption can preserve one's youthful appearance. It can also improve the warrior's physique and improve the warrior's life level. Hearing this, everyone nodded slightly. They were not very shocked, because there were other things in the Tianwu continent that could do these two things. However, they couldn't sit still any longer. Lin Xian continued, other than that, it can also slow down aging. Even in the later years of a martial artist's life, they can still maintain their qi and blood without weakening. Maintain your combat strength and realm. What? Slow down aging? Maintain your realm and combat strength. Everyone exclaimed and their eyes were filled with shock. The older generation figures, in particular, were all excited. This was because in the later years of a martial artist's life, their qi and blood would dry up and their realm would drop. Their strength would not be as strong as before. Sword Venerable was a good example. He was a half-step king back then, but in his later years, he only had the strength and cultivation of an 8th heavenly layer venerable. It had to be said that it was truly a pity. However, it was not old-time tea that could solve this problem. This was really shocking. Those old men seemed to have been injected with chicken blood, their expressions abnormally excited. However, this was not the end. Lin Xian continued, the last point is the healing effect. As you all know, old-time tea can cure injuries that even the kings can't. So, I don't need to tell you how precious it is, right? No need. Young Master Lin, when will the auction start? And the invitation card, what's the use of it? Can't people enter without an invitation card? The group of old men were very excited and quickly asked. Old-time tea will be held at the Shuiyu Immortal Martial Auction on the 5th of next month. As for the invitation card, it's limited. Anyone who receives an invitation card can definitely attend the auction, and they will all be seated in the VIP seats. As for those who don't receive an invitation card, they can also attend. Of course, it depends on luck. If you're late and don't have a seat, then I can only apologize. Hearing this, many people suddenly became worried, especially the older generation figures, because old-time tea's effects were too shocking. Now that the whole continent knew about it, if they were late, they might not be able to enter. Young Master Lin, do you still have an invitation card? Why don't you give me one? Young Master, name a price. How much is it? I'll buy it. Everyone asked, wanting to get an invitation card first to ensure that they were qualified to attend. Seeing this heated scene, Duan Li's face darkened and his teeth almost shattered. Damn this guy, he's really pissing me off. Duan Li was about to go crazy because the great situation he created was actually resolved by Lin Xian with just a few words. Now, almost no one mentioned his 3 treasures anymore. Everyone was asking about old-time tea and the auction. Looking at the lively crowd, Lin Xian decisively shook his head. Sorry, my level is not high enough, so I won't give out an invitation card. Hearing this, everyone was depressed and wanted to vomit blood. This was too direct. Although they were not as strong and powerful as Zhuangzhu, they were still elders of big families and sections. Such a direct rejection made them want to find a hole to hide in. However, Lin Xian smiled mysteriously. The standard of this auction is higher than you think. Because at the auction, other than old-time tea, there will be a more precious and magical elixir than old-time tea. What? A more magical elixir than old-time tea? What's that? Everyone was confused because old-time tea was beyond their knowledge. Now Lin Xian said that there was a more magical elixir than old-time tea. This made them unable to guess. Could it be the legendary divine elixir? Everyone guessed, but they quickly denied it. That kind of elixir had not appeared for thousands of years. How could it appear in the hands of a level 7 venerable? Seeing that everyone was guessing, Lin Xian said loudly, "Everyone, there's no need to guess. I've brought the elixir, and it's my gift to Deity Sword Villa." What? The mysterious elixir is for Deity Sword Villa. Hearing this, everyone's jaws dropped. No wonder he didn't give old-time tea. It turned out that he was going to give a more precious elixir than old-time tea. I knew it. Who is Lin Xian? He's the young master of Palace of Ares. How could his gift be bad? Everyone was discussing and was very excited. However, the Duan family's face was gloomy. Duanli even said fiercely, "Nonsense. I want to see how you're going to deal with this later." He had already thought about it. As long as Lin Xian's elixir was not good or was not as good as his immortal golden elixir, he would start mocking him and ask him to get lost. Deity Sword Villa was also in an uproar. The first elder also asked in a deep voice, "There's such an elixir in the world. You'll know soon enough. However, this elixir is indeed for Deity Sword Villa. It's not for Zhuangzhu." What? Isn't it for Villa Master Xia? It didn't conceal itself at all because its goal was to attract the attention of the Duan clan. Sure enough, not long after, the Duan clan warriors who were lying in ambush saw the figure in the sky. "Which kid is it? That kid has come out." When the Duan clan warriors saw the figure, they were immediately overjoyed. However, Duanli frowned. "Why is it only him? Where are the people around him?" "Young master, could it be a trap to lure us away?" Some of the Duan clan elders were also suspicious. "It's possible. Insignificant tricks. You want to lure us away? You must be dreaming. Send a few people to beat down that figure. Regardless of whether it's real or fake, kill him. The rest of you, quickly search other places. Once you find Lin Xian and his companions, immediately report back." "Yes." Chapter 1277. Duan Li's plan was well thought out and comprehensive. However, he missed out on one thing, which was the speed of the clones in the sky. Ordinary martial artists could not catch up to them. Even an 8th level honorable would not be able to catch up immediately. Soon news came back, "Young master, it's not good. They're too fast. We can't catch up." "Can't catch up?" Duan Li and the other elders stood up. "We can't even catch up to an 8th level honorable? We can't catch up for now." Hearing this, Duan Li's face darkened. What's going on? Is it true? But what about the people around him? They might have stayed in Deity Sword Villa and did not leave. An elder guessed. Impossible, I don't believe it. Duan Li shook his head. However, the surrounding elders sighed. I don't believe it either. However, it can't be a clone. Putting aside whether he can create a clone, his speed is not something an ordinary person can achieve. It was better to kill by mistake than to let someone go. Elder, it's up to you. Duan Li turned around and said respectfully to a figure. The figure had been sitting cross-legged and did not care about the situation around him. When he heard Duan Li's words, he opened his eyes. Suddenly, a powerful aura spread out. In the next moment, the figure disappeared in a flash. Seeing this, Duan Li sneered again. I don't believe you can escape from an elder of the ninth heaven. 2 hours had passed, but there was still no news from the elder of the ninth heaven. This made Duan Li and the rest anxious. Damn it, how is this possible? How can a 7th level brat be so fast? Even a 9th level honorable can't catch up to him? Everyone was shocked and anxious. If that was really Lin Xian, the situation would be bad if he ran away. While they were waiting anxiously, a small array beside Duan Li suddenly flashed and lit up. There's news. Seeing this, Duan Li and the rest were shocked. They quickly activated the array. Indeed, in the next moment, a voice came from the array. Clone, it's fake. Damn it, it's really a clone. Duan Li snorted. Don't try to fool me with such a small trick. Everyone, search with all your might. That brat definitely didn't run far. Immediately, everyone began to move. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others moved quickly. They knew that a doppelganger couldn't hide for long, but it would be extremely beneficial to them if they could buy a little more time. Sure enough, during this half a day, they were safe and sound. No one came to search for them. However, half a day later, many figures appeared in the surroundings. It seems that the clone has been seen through. Lin Xian's expression was grave. Young master, don't worry. As long as I'm here, I won't let those people hurt you in the slightest, the ninth elder said in a deep voice. Lin Xian nodded. He trusted the ninth elder's strength. After all, the ninth elder was a venerable of the ninth heaven. He was worried about Shen Jingqiu and Yu Fei. Shen Jingqiu had just broken through to the venerable realm. It could be said that she did not have much combat strength now. Qiu, follow me closely later. Don't be afraid, Lin Xian said softly. Yes, I know. Brother Lin Xian will protect me. Shen Jingqiu nodded. Lin Xian rubbed her head, then looked at Yu Fei. Follow me closely later. Don't make a move. Got it, Brother Xian. Yu Fei nodded in agreement. Let's go. In the next moment, a powerful light surged out of Lin Xian and the ninth elder's bodies, enveloping Shen Jingqiu and Yu Fei as they flew quickly. The two of them were like lightning. They were extremely fast. However, there were more and more people around, so it didn't take long for Lin Xian and the others to discover them. Over there, I found them, a warrior exclaimed. Immediately, the nearby warriors all rushed toward Lin Xian and the others. Some warriors even shot out signal flares to summon them. However, Lin Xian was relatively confident. Don't worry, I won't joke around with my life. If I use all my trump cards, even killing a ninth heaven venerable won't be a problem. Lin Xian indeed had such confidence. He had many trump cards in his hands. Moreover, he had recently made a breakthrough in Sword Dao, and his strength had increased greatly. Thus, he could still deal with a ninth heaven venerable. Of course, this was also thanks to his doppelganger that lured away a ninth heaven venerable. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to deal with 4 ninth heaven venerables. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.